Ready for that tonight? This evening, we have three mentors with us. We are discussing the go-to-market strategy. And in case nobody knows what that is, or some of us don't, this is basically your strategy for expanding into other markets, right? You've all got some business already, but you're looking for other markets, more customers. And so this is your plan now for that expansion into that market. It can look very differently from what you did before. It is definitely a little bit more than marketing and promotions, but we'll let the mentors explain. Well, Yemi, our presenter, explain a little bit more about that tonight. Jordan, do you want
Yeah.
to start with some hot seats first or after the presentation?
Yeah, let's get right into Yummy. Big round of applause for Yummy.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
All right. So
Yes,
Yemi, you have
hello.
the floor.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Hello, everybody. Good evening from, I was going to say grey London, but it doesn't matter because it's 10 p.m. here anyway, so it's supposed to be grey. If it was sunny, it would be a problem, wouldn't it? So thank you so much for being here. My name is Yemi Olushon. I run a company called The Change Hive. Essentially, it's a marketing automation agency, and we help small business owners with lead conversion and customer retention. So we help them design sales funnels and then automate it with CRMs or other marketing automation tools. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about. I love talking go-to-market and growth. So I will be sharing a lot. My recommendation is get a pen and a paper ready. And if you've got questions, I do this so often that I don't mind being interrupted. So feel free to stop me halfway and ask questions. Not a problem. I have to say, I just heard in the presentation that some of you already have businesses. I wasn't aware of that. That's what I was thinking. I thought, because sometimes when we do this for FI, Founders Institute, like some of the founders don't have any existing businesses. So I'm going to try and kind of cater to you guys because I think from the intro, I think you'll have this. Can I just differently in the chat for you for me? Can you just tell me just quickly what stage you are in your business? Like, are you? I don't know. How long have you had your business? Have you started? If so, say yes. If you've started, tell me how long you've run it for. If you haven't started, say no, not started. I just want to just get a sense of who I've got in the audience, please. And whilst you do that, Jordan, how much time do I have? 1 year in the market. Thank you so much, Antonio. I appreciate that. Jordan, how much time do I have? So I don't ramble on.
Mm.
Yeah, I think you're good. Like, how long do you think it'll go?
Mm.
No, I think 30 minutes will try to be done. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
All
perfect. Yeah,
right.
that's
Perfect.
great. Yeah, that's great.
Interact.
And then
Perfect.
yeah, and then once we're done, we'll just do pitches.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Okay, so still in concept stage. I like that saying. So yeah, perfect. So for you, it'll be great. So I can still do beginner stuff. Second year. Okay, so it's a mixed bag. That's good to hear. So it's kind of still early stage businesses. Fantastic. Okay, so the purpose of this is go to market and scale, but I think a good way to frame this conversation will be talking specifically about how you can get clients within 30 days and ideally organically without paid ads. So that's kind of the context I want to drive the conversation in because I feel like I can talk about conceptual topics, but it's better if I give you actual examples that you can then say, okay, what's tomorrow? Tuesday morning, we're going to get the ground going and hit the ground running and actually implement this stuff. Okay, so let's get started. So the focus of today is I really want to try and cover four key things that you take away from today's session is number one, ensure that the niche or the problem you're targeted is actually profitable and it makes sense to do what you're doing. Secondly, I want to show you a framework of how I like to think about creating like an offer statement. Because you know how when I started this, I told you exactly what I did in hopefully one or two lines. I want to give you an example of how you might want to think about that for your business. Third, I want to talk about how you could attract potentially like clients, customers organically, without being like weird or salesy or having to run like ads initially. And then fourth, I want to talk about how you get paid ads really. So three and four are kind of related. So that's the goal of today's session. Just to quickly introduce myself again. Oh, this keyboard is so sticky. About me, as you know, my name is Yemi Olushon. My background is Nigerian. I'm Britgerian, as I like to joke, so I'm British Nigerian. I come from a long line of small family business owners. So I feel like small business and startups kind of in my DNA. My business right now is marketing automation, so I help like small business owners drive growth and sometimes exit because essentially my work helps them to automate their processes so that they're then ready to exit and get a better valuation. I really, like I say, enjoy the stuff like the whole conversion process and thinking sales funnels really gets me excited. I was fortunate recently to be selected by the US State Department to go on an exchange program on this YTL innovation program, and I got to work with small businesses in the US for about 6 weeks. I also do a similar kind of role with the UK government on the Help to Grow program. So all this to say, I have spent a lot of time working with small business owners like yourself. So hopefully you're in safe hands. Um, so quick question. When you think of growth and go to market, is this the picture that comes to mind? Like just get on the hamster wheel and just go quick and fast. And hopefully, magically, something kind of, happens out of it. Like who thinks about growth and just gets stressed. And as you hear go to market, you're like, oh my God, my blood pressure just went up. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Show of hands or tell me in the chat if this resonates at all. Anybody? Or are you guys all pros? In which case, like all the time. Oh, thank you, Jordan. Anybody else? Or are you guys all pros? In which case I can stop sharing and you guys can like give me master classes. Yes, yes, yes. Fantastic. Thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate the engagement. Thank you. Cool. So hopefully the purpose of this is to help you reduce that feeling and make you feel less like that and show you kind of systematic step-by-step approach that you could deploy in your business to make it feel less chaotic and frantic. Because actually right now we're in very exciting times, right? Because the cost of failure, the cost of starting a business is actually one of the lowest it's ever been, because we now have all these tools and technology that means that you can trial things and actually iterate before you go full out. Because back in the day, before the internet days, you had to start a business was a very risky venture. You had to typically go to the bank and get a big bank loan to think about starting a business. But these days, actually, you don't need all that much capital if we're smart about how we go to market and how we plan our launch. And those things are what we're going to be talking about today. But although we have all those tools, sometimes we still find that the old mindset prevails, right? People still feel the need to build it, and hopefully they come. And that's what we're going to try and prevent by doing this session together right now. I think I've covered most of this already. So the old mindset looks like spending all the money building out big solutions, and then you have a solution looking for a problem. So you're like, oh, I just paid the developer, I don't know, 10 grand to build me this app, and now I need to find customers for it. Like that's almost reverse thinking. Or you build all these fancy things and you don't really know, you don't have a specific niche because you're trying to cater to everybody because you don't really know who you're talking to. So it's like a spray paint and hopefully something sticks. Let's throw as much on the wall and hope something sticks. Or the third kind of old school mindset is spending all this time doing busy work, what I like to call busy work. So doing the logo, the website, the business card, all this stuff that's admin, but not really getting you money or clients in the bank. Or even worse, spending lots of money running Facebook ads before you've actually tested that you have an offer that people really want. And these are the kind of problems that I'm hoping that we can prevent post this session. So before you start thinking go to market, when I think go to market with my clients, there are 5 key questions or 5 key things I need us to be clear on. And that's this 5 key things are going to be the focus of our conversation today. The first thing is, it's going to sound really trivial, but super important, especially when you're a small business owner, is what is your personality? Like what unique advantages or unfair advantages do you have? That we should look to take advantage of. So, for example, are you a great speaker? Are you a great writer? Do you already have a huge network from, I don't know, your religious organization? Are you a captain of something, right? What do you have in the mix? What strengths or opportunities are available to you that we could take into account as we define your go-to-market? Point one. And I'll show you some examples of how you can go about defining that. The second question to bear in mind is what pain points have you identified or noticed in the market, right? So usually you already have an idea. So it's either usually people get into business for 2 reasons, I find, right? It's either they've seen something and they want to do their own Me Too version of a product or service they've seen. It's like, I could do that as well. I want to have a go, right? Or they have experienced the problem themselves and they're trying to fix that problem for I mean in them trying to fix the problem, they then decide, okay, maybe somebody else also has the same problem. Let me see if there's other people like me that would need the solution. So those tend to usually be the 2 reasons people get into business, right? It says, what is the problem you've identified? Let's really define that problem and size it up and make sure that what you think is a problem is really a problem and there is a market there for it. Third is who are the potential target audience for the problem you've identified, right? So sometimes you may find that the same problem might apply to multiple different types of personas or different people. which of them is the most profitable or yeah, profitable for you to target or niche down on. Again, I'll talk about this in a lot more detail, but just please bear that in mind. So question three. Question four is what is the solution or what is the product going to be that we're going to offer this market? Like, so now we know who we are, our strengths, we know what the problem is, we know who we're targeting. Now we're going to think about how can we package a potential solution that the audience we're targeting would appreciate and want to get involved with. And then the third is then how do we make sure that we find product market fit? So how do we make sure that we have a repeatable way of presenting our products to the customer that we want to target and giving them a clear message and be able to predict that if at any point we present that message to the customer, there's a 50% or there's a rough, you kind of know what the percentage likelihood is that you'll get that conversion. The more you're able to predict that, the likelier the chance that you found product market fit. That's what product market fit looks like. So those are the five things we'll be looking to address in today's session. What I talked about is kind of what I've put out here on the map. So without further ado, let's get started. The first one is really the awareness piece. So this is you getting to know yourself as the business owner, as the founder, as the founding team. I'm going to split that first pillar into two because I think it's twofold. It's you knowing yourself, number one, and then also you knowing the business you're trying to build. So let's get started. First one, step 1A, know yourself. Um, so in my experience working with business owners, I find that to run a business successfully, really you want to have at least three core skill sets need to be in the mix, right? The first skill set is around knowing having a clarity of purpose, right? So who is the visionaire? If you think about it, you can think about it more like the founder hat, right? So what's the vision for this? What's your vision? What's the direction you're going in? The second hat tends to be around. So now you have a vision, or now you found it, or you have this idea. What's the strategy to bring that vision into reality? So, like so let's actually ground this idea in reality. So think about it like CEO. And the third aspect is more around, so now you have a strategy, who's actually going to do the doing, right? Who's going to implement and execute. In any business or for a business to be successful, ideally you have those three skills in a mix. If you find you're in a business where you don't have one of these skill sets, you tend to be quite wobbly, right? So you either have business owner that's great at talking big picture and has all these great strategies, but never does anything, right? So they're always having the plan, the strategy, and big management jargon, and nothing seems to ever materialize out of it. Or you have people, sometimes you have a founder that is great at ideating ideas and executing, but isn't good at connecting those ideas to human beings, to other people in a way that the market appreciates what they're building. Again, those kind of founders tend to get lost because people can't really connect to what they're trying to build. Um, I say all this to say these skills are, I think it's important to know them and important to know like how they're important and also to know which of them come to you organically. For some of us on the call, you might find that you're naturally quite visionary, like you can sit down and think of a big picture and sell the idea, sell the dream. But you may find that the actual commercial awareness piece, where you take that vision and then create a marketing strategy, a sales strategy, is a bit more challenging for you. Or you may find that, oh no, I'm actually great with that, but the implementation piece is where I struggle. I think it's worth as a business owner just thinking about these three skill sets and thinking which ones are my natural strengths and how can I build a business, ideally, initially at least, that takes advantage of my natural strengths. And where I have weaknesses or deficiencies, how can I be cognizant of that and start to either find a co-founder or find resources that are going to support me to make sure that I have a robust business that I'm building, right? So awareness is the first key to progress. Does that make sense so far? In the chat for me, can you just put in the chat if there's any questions or unmute yourself, ask me questions or is not clear? Mariana, thank you so much for the yes. I appreciate it. Does it all make sense? Cool. Amazing. Thank you, guys. So, I think this is, by the way, I like to share this model because I feel like most times when I share it, it allows most business owners give themselves grace because hopefully you start to see why sometimes running a business can be quite challenging because in an ideal world, you're wearing three different hats. And these hats are not even static because one day you feel like, oh my God, I'm the most visionary person ever. I'm always very clear with my vision. And then you go through a life event in your personal life and you're like, oh my God, maybe I'm not so visionary afterwards, right? You start to have self-doubt. Or you think, oh my God, I'm the best salesperson or the best marketing person ever. and then the market changes and you just for whatever reason are struggling to sell or to market your ideas, or you think, oh my God, I'm the best technical person, I'm the most, great at executing, and then ChatGPT comes along and you're like, oh my God, are my technical skills still relevant or not? So anyway, it's important to kind of know what your strengths are and what opportunities are to you within this three and really define that out. I think a key model that I like to use to map out your strengths and weaknesses, if you're still not sure on this stuff, is the Ikigai framework. Has anybody heard of this framework before? No? I love this framework. I think, especially when I'm working with like younger people that ask things like, oh my God, I don't know what my purpose is. I need to find my purpose. Like, it's this magical thing that you just falls on you. This is an exercise I like to take them through, right? So Ikigai is Japanese. It means reason for being. And essentially it's four concentric circles. And the idea is that when you find an answer to each of these four concentric circles, the intersection of all four is your Ikigai. And if you're working within your Ikigai, you get into a state of flow. So the work is challenging, but you're enjoying the challenge. You feel like you're flourishing, you feel like you're contributing, and there's joy that comes with it as well. And because you're in that state, um, things just happen a lot more organically. You're not toiling, and it's not like feeling like so much friction to make progress. So again, if you could, I invite you all to please spend some time just thinking about this four questions. So what do you love? What are you potentially good at? What can you be paid for? What do you do that the world needs? Um, in a longer workshop, I would probably do a deeper dive on each of these four circles. But honestly, these days, if you sat with ChatGPT long enough, if you're really, really struggling, I'll copy and paste my CV and I'll say, ChatGPT, here's my CV. Based on my CV, what do you think I would love, right? You can use that to kind of get the thought process going. But like I say, if I had a longer session, I would actually go into each of these circles individually. But you don't have, if you already know this and it's already something you know, then it's good that you know it. But if you don't, I think it's worth doing because it just gives you clarity on what your strengths are and what your weaknesses, opportunities, or threats are. So that's it for knowing yourself, right? So really defining that. Second is defining your business mission and vision. I think FI is great at doing this. You probably have a separate module for this, right? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Can I just get a yes in the chat? Have you guys already done this? The vision and mission module. Is that already done?
Just as a background, this is like at a accelerated boot camp. So like not four
Oh,
months, it's like 5 weeks. So
oh,
really
I
like the
see.
core strategy is like helping with with their pitch deck and then yeah, go to market and scale, like the ways to
Okay.
expand, just as background.
So is it worth covering this, Jordan, or should I? Because I wasn't sure how
No, I
much
think
to
this is
go
still
into.
good. Yeah, I think no, it's still great. I think
Okay,
there's
great.
only so much that we can do in so much time, but I think it is important that we still go into go to market and scale.
Okay, great. Cool. Thank you for that, Jordan. So again, it's worth then thinking about. So now you know kind of your strengths, your weaknesses. It's worth thinking about the business that you would like to build or you already have. What is the vision for this business, right? So I've put on there like some definitions. So the vision is the dream. So if you think about vision as if you could wave a magic wand and make one magical change in the world, what would that be? What would that change be that your business is making in the world, right? Is what is the compelling drive? Are you, for example, trying to improve financial inclusion, improve social mobility? Like it's usually quite altruistic and idealistic. That's the whole point of the vision, right? So in an ideal world, the vision is so big that really it's probably not achievable in your lifetime. Hence why you want the business and you want the company that's going to outlive you. And whilst you're gone from this earth, it would keep fulfilling the mission or the vision that you created it for, right? So that's the vision. The second point is then the mission is the why. So it's like, what is the so now you said, okay, I want to go and improve financial inclusion. Why is that important? Like, what is the why behind it? What's the driver? Why is it important? Third thing I like to think about when I'm defining, like, really getting aware on my business is what are the core values of this business? Like, what core principles do we want to operate with, right? Are we going to be impact first? Are we going to be very focused on sustainability? Are we going to be remote first? Like, what are the core values that you want to use to drive your business? Again, this might seem like, oh my God, how does this relate to go to market? Here's how it does, because by you being clear on your core values, it starts to determine the kinds of clients that you may want to or not want to work with, because not all money is good money, right? There's some clients that you're like, it's just not going to be a good fit. Like maybe it's not the right client to pursue. Or the clarity on your values as well, the more you can say, okay, I really want to work with in the ethical or the sustainability space. And that will drive how you do your marketing and the wording and the language you use, so you attract those kind of people, right? So your clarity on this really defines a lot of stuff. That's why, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Then the next thing is then the strategy, right? So if you think about the previous slide I talked about, right? So far, this first three are very much vision, like big picture, grand big picture thinking. At step four in this business journey, when I think is what's the strategy. So now you know what the vision is, what the mission is, what is the product or the thing you're going to bring, the tangible vehicle that people are going to use to access this vision and mission that you set up, right? So are you going to look to achieve financial inclusion by setting up, I don't know, a fintech product, or are you going to look to do it by setting up a charity? What is the strategy? What's the tangible thing that people are going to interact with to get that mission and vision created? Now, the strategy tends to be like a 5 year or big grant thing. So the strategy in itself is so big that you can't, it's not it's too big to work with on a day-to-day on a regular basis. So you take that strategy and usually you want to then break it down into objectives. An objective and ideally is going to be 1 quarter long. So it's each objective should ideally be achievable within a quarter. So you take your 5 year strategy and break it out into quarters. So it's like for this quarter, so Q4 starting tomorrow, what's the objective going to be? And then the key results are, how do you know that the objectives were successful, right? So if the objective, for example, is we're going to launch um we're going to launch a new credit card product, right? Is we know we're successful because we've now onboarded 10 customers by the end of the quarter and on and on. So the point is, if you go through the exercise of defining your mission and your vision, if you already have it, great. Just pull it up. It's good to know and to remind yourself of what that is as you define your go-to-market plan. Because again, where challenges start to come up is when there's no coherence or it's not congruent. So you said something is your vision, and then you're trying to pursue a client that's completely different to your core values, and then you constantly have the friction and it's just not working out. Right. So if you haven't done this for your business, I want to invite you to consider doing it as a building block towards what we're doing next. Cool. Again, if there are any questions, please stop me. The second thing to define, right, is what is the problem you're looking to solve? Now, a common mistake that I see when people think about problems they're looking to solve is I'm going to talk about two common niche or problem definition problems I see is it's almost sometimes quite selfish. Is I want to do what I love, so it's like, oh my God, I had my hair wasn't growing as well. I've got this new hair product that's going to make hair grow. So because it worked for me, it has to work for everybody. Like, and then they go out and they go to a factory and then create like 10,000 of those products, and like, what the heck? Why is nobody buying my product? It's like, well, because you decided that you know what they want, right? It's you have the problem, or you think you have a solution, or you've created something I think you're good at, but you haven't necessarily made sure that there's a need or there's a market that is asking for the thing that you're creating. So validating that first again is one of the things I see. So skipping the validation step. Second, common niche mistake is being too generic, right? Is trying to be everything to everybody at the same time. And you create this thing that's so vanilla and not very memorable. But these are potentially quite fixable. And a way I like to think about this problem definition phase is I feel like for each step I've got a sub step. Get notes and hopefully you can any questions, please do stop me. So with the problem definition, we talked about this at the beginning, right? Is when you're starting a business, usually there's two reasons you tend to start, right? You started because you had the problem yourself and you've managed to fix it. So now you want to build a business around it. Or you've observed a problem or you've observed another business that was successful. So it's a whatever method you use, identify a starting point, right? Is step one. Step two, talk to potential customers of who you think might be impacted by the problem, right? So validate that what you think is the problem really is a problem to them, right? And you're not just making it up, or it's not just a one-off situation that you happen to come across. Third is usually post the interview, you may find that you have like multiple groups of people that are impacted by the problem. So to my example of, let's use a different example, career coaching, right? You're like, oh, people are struggling with interviews and I can help them with career coaching. That's something that's dear to my heart. So you go around and you interview lots of different people. You might interview like someone that's just graduated from uni. You might interview a mom that has just had a baby and is looking to get back to work. You might interview a middle-aged person that's just been made redundant and is looking to get back into work. So you can see that it's different. They all have similar problems. The point is they need to get a job, but they're very different in their needs, right? So even though you interview like all these different groups, you may find that there's sub-segments. So it's worth, and the needs of a fresh graduate will be different potentially to the needs of a returning mom, to the needs of a middle-aged professional that's trying to get back into work after being made redundant. So post the interview, think about like what are the potential groupings of customers, because the more specific we are, remember the second mistake we talked about, right, being too generic and being too bland. Um, the more specific you are, the easier it will be to find people that fit the certain criteria and to use the language that they will also relate with. And it just makes the whole marketing a lot more relatable and easier, especially if you want to grow organically initially. The fourth step in all of this is then to say, okay, so I think I know what the problem is. I've potentially got customers and I've also segmented my customers. You then want to work out how big is this market potentially, right? Because again, it could be that, yes, you had a problem growing your hair, but there's only like, I don't know, 100 people within your community or within your space that have that problem. It's very, very niche, that it's not big enough to build a business around. So it's really sizing the market, working out the total addressable market size, serviceable market size, and obtainable market size. Does that make sense? Or is that, I think, simply put, for most small business owners, I wouldn't get too technical. I think this only really tends to be a problem for like fintech and like people that are trying to raise money for VCs. I think it's still worth doing as a small business owner, just to make sure that you're not barking up the wrong tree. But I wouldn't spend too much time, right, trying to do the big fancy circles as you would do if you're trying to raise VC money. Oh, thank you, Marianne. I appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much. And then finally, I would encourage, even though you think you found a problem, still do some macro analysis, right? So look at the wider business environment and see, is there anything that is happening or that may happen in the coming weeks, months, potentially years that may positively or negatively impact my business? So for example, if you lived in the US, the elections are coming up. Are the elections going to, or I don't know if are they going to impact your business? Are there any tax law changes? Are there any social change and any political changes? So being aware of what is happening in the wider space, because it could either be an opportunity that you could leverage to grow quicker or be a risk that needs to be mitigated. So being proactive about doing that will be one of the things that I would look to do in this step of the process. Does that make sense? Like, so step two is defining the problem. And we've walked through the 5 steps that you can go through to really get the problem clear in your mind. Any questions on that? Does that make sense? Thank you, Christine. No questions. Great. Thank you so much, guys. Oh, Joyce, your hand is raised. Go for it, Joyce.
Sorry, I actually just meant to put a thumbs up. Sorry.
Okay, cool. No problem. No
Thanks.
problem. Go. All right. So I have got supporting slides, but I think I can skip over them if you guys are already following where I was going to explain the market segmentation piece a lot more. Sometimes when people think about, because we talk about, oh, niche, 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 and sometimes the niche is so arbitrary that it doesn't actually make sense. So I wouldn't just niche down for niching down's sake. If you're going to segment, make sure you're segmenting around things that actually make sense, right? I think it's too obvious to try and segment around things like demographical information, like oh, the age, where they live. But it's like, but it's more behavioral. So if you look at, think about the example I gave to you about the career coaching thing, I told you how like the behaviors are different, right? So it's not just the age that's the driver here, it's the fact that they're in different life stages. So the content of what they want might be different. So I'm saying segment, but please segment with some wisdom, right? So make sure that it's not just don't just go through the motions, because I see a lot of times we're just kind of segmenting by age, by gender. I'm like, what does that even mean? Cool. And here are some examples of what I talked about, the macro analysis that you may want to consider. Right? So when you define the problem, just think about like, so externally, are there any opportunities or threats that may impact my business. And then also, if you think about the current industry as well, what are the current competitors doing? Is there anything that I can leverage from what they're doing? What are they doing well that I could improve on or copy or replicate in my business? What are they not doing so well that I can improve on and use that as a unique advantage that I then sell to get business initially as I grow, right? So it's doing that initial analysis. Cool. And then final point I want to talk about on this problem statement stuff, right? I talked about like selecting a niche or a segment to focus on. I like to think about 4 criteria. The way I know you've chosen a niche that makes sense or a segment that makes sense is I like to run it through four checks. The first one is the group you're selecting, are they actually profitable? Can they afford to pay for your services? And also, are they likely going to keep coming back for more, or is it just a flash in the pan? Like, so if you go to the example I gave, graduates need the services that we're offering for new jobs, but they might not be the most profitable, right? Because like they're just fresh out of uni, they haven't made any money. It doesn't mean you if you decide to pursue them, it means that you then have to make sure you find the right funding source for them because they might be interesting for you in your life working with that demographic. But it's like if they can't afford the services, how are you going to make sure you can find a third party or find a way to help them afford it? Because otherwise, your business will be profitable. Secondly, do the people you're targeting actually care about the problem? And the way you know they care about it is they're actively doing something to solve the problem. So when you go around interviewing people and asking them, hey, so I think XYZ is a problem. What are your thoughts? You say, oh yeah, I agree with you. It's like fantastic. So what are you currently doing to solve the problem? If the answer is nothing, then maybe they don't care that much, right? Maybe it's like me trying to learn French. Like I really want to learn French. What are you doing about it? Nothing. No, I want to learn. I really want to learn. So that might make you want to question whether or not they're the right demographic to focus on. The third thing they may want to consider is, are they easy to find? You don't want to work with a group that is a needle in a haystack, right? If they're not within your network, that goes back to again doing the SWOT analysis on yourself, right? If based on where you are and where your business is and your strengths and your opportunities, these people you want to target are not anywhere near your space, then maybe you may want to reconsider, right? Because otherwise it will just be such a difficult task to find customers every time. And then finally, fourth criteria, is it a growing customer base? There's no point targeting a shrinking pool of people, right? Or target going into a market that is now shrinking in size. These are the 4 things I would run, whichever niche you choose to go with, I would run it through those 4 parameters to make sure that we're definitely building something that is robust. Yeah. All right. And then finally, just please remember, I know I've gone through like these guidelines, but they are guidelines. There's no such thing as a perfect niche because the downside of the extreme of this whole exercise could be that you spend forever trying to find the perfect niche, right? And then you never get started. I'd rather you do the exercise the best as you can, select one niche initially, and then go through the whole process of trying to target them. And see what the market says, right? So once you have enough data, I usually say like try and get the first 20 to 25 customers, or give yourself about 3 months or quarter to do the strategy on one specific niche. If after that quarter it's still not working, or at least you have some data that you can review, and then you can use that data as a way to refine the process and decide what makes sense going forward. Cool. So that was it for defining the problem. Question 3, we need to define a potential solution, right? So what is the product we're going to offer the market to solve this problem? I think a great way to think about defining a solution or an offer is this value set. It was created by this guy called Alex Hormozi. He's like this, so is now over the last few years been quite influential as a business influencer. Who here is familiar with Alex or have come across his work on social? Yes, thank you, Joyce. I think his what do you think about him? I think it's pretty phenomenal. Yes, perfect. Which one did you read, Mariana? What was the book you read? The offer book, $1 million. Oh, the leads. Okay, the one on lead generation. Actually haven't read that one. I haven't spent. I really like the first one on offers. I found the leads one not as good as the offers. Actually, I prefer the offers book. But yeah, so on the book, he's
Yeah,
got a book called. Pardon?
I was just going to say he's changing the way
people do things, because he's giving away his things now, and his offer course is phenomenal, and he just gives it away for free.
Exactly, exactly. And I think it's very practical. This is why I thought there's no point in me trying to complicate it. He's really simplified it. So I really want to go through his framework. And he talks about how an offer or a solution really has four key components. The first one is, what's the dream outcome? So if you're going to sell me something, I want to know what's in it for me. So if I come and I work with you, what am I going to get? What's my outcome going to be? Second thing, that people want to know when they want to work with you or when you're offering them something is, what's the likelihood that I'm going to get this outcome that you're promising me, right? So have you got any proof, guarantees, reviews, specifications, awards? What is the guarantee that I will achieve what you're saying I'm going to achieve? Third thing people usually want to know in an offer statement is, how much time would I have to wait before I get this benefit that you're promising me? So what's the delay? And then finally, how much effort will I have to expend to get this value that you're promising me? The more you can answer these four questions in a succinct one-liner, the easier you'll find the sales and go-to-market stats to be, right? Because these four tends to be the four key, the main objections that people have when you sell them is like, okay, so first of all, what are you selling to me? I've already told you that. How long is it going to work for me? I told you that already. How much time would I have to wait before I see any result? I told you that already. That's time delayed. And how much effort is it going to take? Like, how much work would I have to put into it? Again, that's told. So these four things tend to be the key objections that people have when they're thinking about buying or working with any business. And an example of what this looks like when these questions are answered is, oh, I think I want to explain this. No, I think I already did. Just quickly on, I think it's worth just giving some explanation. So in terms of ideal outcome or dream outcome, the first one I gave, there are some, I think there are five evergreen markets that people like to talk about, right? Is there usually the five key buckets of needs that people tend to have or human beings tend to lean towards very strongly. One is they're looking for things that's going to give them more money or save them money, so more wealth or save me money. Second is around help me find more love, or so, and love is in different forms of love, as in marital love or friendship love or parental care. There's different relationships. That tends to be the second type of need. The third evergreen need tends to be around health. So help me lose weight, help me gain weight, help me build muscle, help me, I don't know, eat healthier, right? Or diet better. Fourth one tends to be around time. So productivity tools to help me save time, help me be more productive in what I need to do. Or finally, prestige, right? So help me attain more social clout, right? So I want to get 10,000 followers, I want to, whatever, right? So more. So you find that your dream outcome would probably fall into one of these five buckets, right? I said this because if you're struggling with it, I really don't know what the outcome of my stuff is, right? Is ideally you want to try and tap into one of these five because these tend to be the most burning desires that people have, right? Or needs. Okay, so an example of this, I'll give you one example here, and I'll give you another example in the other slide, right? So if you follow this model well, you could go from having an offer that looks like, I do 6-week career coaching, it's like, which is so bland and very generic, to saying something like, I can help you get a six-figure FANG PM role in 6 weeks, in 6 interviews or less, or you can get your money back. The first question you probably have is, what the heck is FANG, right? And that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. The offer is supposed to be quite minimized, whereas I'm using a term that only my target audience knows. Does anybody know what FANG is, out of curiosity, before I explain? No? Cool. So FANG is those are the top tech companies. So FANG stands for Facebook, and they're now called Meta. So Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. So most fresh graduates that did tech that's changing now because they had big massive layoffs 1 or 2 years ago. Most fresh graduates, their dream was to go work for one of these big tech companies, right? So essentially, another way to reword what I just said here is, I'll help you get a six-figure big tech role in 6 weeks or less. But if I use such a generic term, then I'll get a lot more potentially unqualified leads because they're like, everybody's like, oh, I'm curious. I'm going to just come book a call with you because I'm curious about big tech. But if I said FANG, it's quite you have to know what FANG is, right? If you don't know what it is, you don't even notice that it will just fall off your radar. So by you doing the previous exercises, hopefully you can see how this is now building up to you being able to create an offer statement that your niche can relate to. And this is why it's important to spend the time interviewing them to know what kind of language they use to explain the problem and hopefully weave that language into the solution or the product that you're offering them. Another one example I'll give, and here is oops, sticky keyboard. I don't know what's going on with my go back. Another example I give is say for a business or kind of like what I'm doing with you guys now, right? Is the dream outcome is I help you get paid clients. Why do I know it's going to work? Because I work for like 40 plus other people and I've got the Google reviews of it. How much time would I have to spend on this exercise? 30 days or less. Um, how much effort would I have to exert, or how are you going to make sure it's not as painful for me? You can do it without having to pay money on ads or using any kind of fancy website. So you can do it organically. So here's another example of what I just talked you through. Does that make sense? Questions before we go to question 4?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Okay, question 4 is then you don't want to test it, right? And find the product market fit. You want to make sure that so far we now know what our strengths are for our business and for ourselves and for our business. We know what problem we're looking to solve. We also have a potential solution, right? So now we have to test the market. We have to go to the market and present our solution, ideally present it to the people that we've identified, our niche, and see if they bite and see what the feedback is, and also improve as we go. I just wanted to explain what product market fit is because sometimes it can get quite contentious. It depends on kind of circles you roll around, right? I see product market fit as 3 things, right? Is you now have a problem that people are willing to pay for, you have a solution that people understand, and also, more importantly, you have a repeatable way of reaching the customers, right? So you know exactly how, if you remember what I said to you about like when you're selecting your niche, a key criteria that I like to filter for is to make sure that they're easy to find for you, right? Because if you have a niche that is so far away from your strength, then you spend too much time trying to find them, and you probably then struggle to find product market fit. So product market fit for me looks like these 3 things aligning. So if you can align these 3 things, then I feel like, yeah, it's now looking likely for you to have product market fit. Me, I see you come on camera. Is it because you have a question? Good to see your beautiful face anyway. I can't hear you, but good to see you. Thank you for coming on camera.
Sorry. Yes,
Cool.
thank you.
All right, cool. So yeah, so that's what product market fit looks like, right? Having those 3 things aligned. Just again to repeat the mistake, I think I mentioned this before, right? If we don't find product market fit or we skip steps, you end up sometimes building something and spending all this money, all this time, and then hoping and praying that they come. But if you take your time to build iteratively and incrementally and only commit the more the market commits to you, so as you get more commitment from the market, then you invest more, then you reduce your risk of failure. And what that could look like in terms of building MVP. So as part of you finding product market fit, you may want to think about who's read the book Lean Startup. There's a book called Lean Startup. It was quite popular about what? I want to say 15 years ago. No, okay, great. No, that's fine. Anybody read the book? No, okay, cool. Yeah, it's quite popular, I think 10, 15 years ago. But the idea is kind of what I'm going to try and summarize in here quickly, right? The idea of it is you want to build your business iteratively and as lean as possible. So the point earlier, you start with what's the minimum viable product that I can put out there with my target audience so that they can test it and get a feel and give me some feedback. And if they are loving the product and liking it and they're willing to pay, then guess what? I'll invest more and then go back. And the more I invest, the more I can increase the value of my services and get more profit. So you're only committing as long as the market is giving you the nod of approval. If you don't get the nod of approval, then guess what? You can pivot and keep iterating until you find that sweet spot. So what that might look like might be you may start off by I think because if you already have a business, then this might not apply so much. But if you haven't already built something, because I don't know your specific business, is going to be quite generic, but hopefully it's still just I'll have office hours so we can make it more specific to you. It may start off by you just creating a quick flow chart or mock-up of what your product is going to be, quick mock-up. right? And you may present that to a potential client, say, hey, so I'm building this thing, or I've got this potential solution. Here is how it's going to work. How does that sound? Are you interested? Would you like to hear more? It's like, oh yeah, I'd love to hear more. Okay, let's book a call, jump on a call and talk about it a bit more. You jump on the call, it's like, oh yeah, I really would love to. It's like, great, okay. So it's going to be ready in the next 3 months. I have a waiting list right now. If you sign up to join the waiting list and you pay a deposit of whatever the deposit is, you'll be one of the first clients. You know what I mean? So you can get them to commit by paying a deposit, and at least you know that we're signing a letter of intent if it's a B2B customer. So the idea is you get some kind of financial commitment from some clients before you then say, okay, and I have some critical mass that gives me confidence that, okay, I can then go to the next stage. I'm going to then build a landing page, right? And have this landing page, right? And then you say, okay, great. The landing page might just be to collect email addresses from even more customers because now you've already spoken to a few people with just on the phone with the mock-up. It's like, okay, this is positive. And I have a landing page. Fantastic. You're getting people signing up. So you may post a landing page on your LinkedIn, for example, say, hey guys, something exciting is coming up. I'm going to start this new career coaching business for moms returning back to work. If it's of interest to you, please um, sign up to my mailing list to hear more. And you can use that as a way to gauge interest. You may then take that to then say, okay, this is looking good. I'm getting good signups. I'm going to create a video, right? To explain the process because I'm getting questions and hopefully the video would improve engagement. Fantastic. And you're still getting good positive feedback. You can then move on to the next step and say, okay, I now maybe need to go raise some money to build a solution because I don't have enough. So let me see if I'm going to get investment or if people are actually willing to believe in my idea enough to invest in me. Either as they can either invest as clients, right? Because you can get investment by selling the product before it goes live and you get them to pay you, and that's an investment, or you can get investment from an actual investor or VC or angel fund, right? And then move on to then saying, okay, I'm going to run the business like it's the 1800s and there was no internet or computer, so I'm going to run it without technology, so do a concierge or manual, right? So the point is, you can essentially keep adding complexity to the business, the more you get commitment from the market, right? That's the whole what this is trying to depict here. If you already have a business, then this of course does not apply because you already have a product to sell. But if you didn't, this is how I would go about thinking about my product development, right? I'll go about doing it iteratively and only investing as long as I'm getting commitment back from the market. Cool. And I've overrun what I told Jordan I was going to say. I love this thing so much. I'm going on and on, but I'm nearly there. So the key thing to bear in mind here is ideally you do what I'm proposing you do, or you try and do it as organically as possible. Sometimes people try to hack this process by running ads and saying, oh, I really don't want to be doing all, I just want to get customers quick. So they then pay off for all this paid ads on Facebook to try and get customers coming through the door quickly. It could work, but the thing to bear in mind is that ads are accelerators. They're not necessarily initiators, right? You may find that you're spending lots and lots of money running these ads because you don't even know who you're targeting. You don't know what messaging works for them. So the copy might not be right. So you still probably have to do the iteration. And sometimes even worse, you're not really talking to the customer. You're not really getting you're not building insights on the market and really getting the language because there's depths that you get by talking to customers and going through the pain that you might not get by just trying to run ads and hack the process quickly. Cool. I think we talked about this already, so hints of what product market, I'll skip over this because of time. So finally, I want to put it all together for us and see like what a go-to-market plan could look like, what an organic go-to-market plan could look like, right? So in terms of finding a problem, for example, you might sit down and do a SWOT analysis on yourself, or do your ikigai, and you're like, oh, so what topic? So based on my ikigai of myself or my skills, what topic do I particularly know very well? The answer for you might be career development. It's like, okay, great. So second question, within this topic, is there a sub niche or a sub specific problem I can help people with? The answer might be, oh, interview preparation. So I'm good at getting people with interview preparation. Again, something I should have said at the start is this does not apply if you already have a business. If you already have a business, then that's fine. People with this. But if you're just starting out, this might be useful, like in terms of you just refining what the problem is and really get into that. What is the core problem I'm solving, right? Is there a subgroup? Are there subgroups that have this problem? Again, we talked about this, right? So you have mid-career professionals, you have graduates, you have returning moms, potential examples. What are the key pain points that they have or problems that they tend to have? Like, so when you interview them, what other recurring themes you tend to hear. I was like, oh, I struggle with writing my CV, or I struggle with anxiety. So pre-interview, I have like the interview jitters and I can't get my words out right. What are those problems that come up with the interview? Fifth thing we want to think about again from the interview. So based on what you've heard from the interviews, what specific outcome can you help them achieve, right? So can you, for example, help them overcome the interview anxiety so they can then secure a six-figure job? Like it's good to know what that outcome would be, right? And then finally, what's the vehicle that you could use to achieve that? Are you going to achieve that by doing coaching or by look like? An organic go-to-market plan is here. Gosh, I've skipped over it. Can you guys still hear me? Since my internet connection is unstable. Can you just give me can
Yeah,
you
you
hear me?
cut out for about like 10 seconds, but we kind of got it. It was okay.
All right, cool. Thank you for that. So the go-to-market plan, then putting it all together would look like, I think the first one is back to, again, self-awareness, really being clear on your own personal origin, vision, mission statement, especially if you're going to grow organically, right? Because the first few customers you get are probably going to buy from you because then they've come to know, like, and trust you, right? So the more you can tell stories or position yourself in a way that people can relate to, and it's like, oh yeah, this person seems to get it. And they've kind of like how when I started this call, I told you I come from a long line of small business owners, right? So both my parents are entrepreneurs and founders. So growing business is something that I've experienced myself. So the better you are able to articulate your own mission and origin statement, the easier you might find you can then start to build that connection and rapport with people and get your initial customers easier. And I'll then go around creating a social page if you don't already have one. But on Facebook, again, if you spend the time talking to customers, you hopefully know which social media platform would make the most sense to your clientele, right? Depending on what industry you're in, it might be better for you to set up on Instagram. For some people, more LinkedIn. For some people, more Facebook, right? If you're targeting an older generation, you probably want to be on Facebook, right? So but depending on your target audience, pick a social media platform, set up a page on there. On that platform, usually there are communities, right? So if it's Facebook, there are Facebook groups, there are LinkedIn groups, and you may even go outside of these platforms and explore like Quora and Reddit groups that are relevant to your niche and the problem you're trying to solve. What I'll then be looking to do is to engage in those communities and start to build myself as an authority figure and build some kind of following of some sort right in there. So either responding to posts, but for you to do this well, you have to optimize your own profile on those platforms. This is why having your own, being clear on your mission and your origin statement is good. So the more compelling that background story is, when you go and you post on people's profiles on the social media platforms, they probably will click on it. Oh, who is this lady? Like, let's see what she's talking about. That then reinforces the post that you've already made, right? So I'll go around building some kind of following on these platforms as much as possible. The fifth thing I'll then look to do again, still organically, is to do some kind of warm outreach, right? So think about building some kind of mailing list. So you may want to do that by maybe offering a lead magnet on your post. So on your post that you have on your profile, you may have I love helping uh young moms get back into work. I'm a young mom myself. I recently got back into my profession. If you'd like to hear more, download my PDF on blah, 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 and use that as a way to build your mailing list. That could be one. Or you could even go by using third-party tools. So there's this plugin called Apollo.io. It works on LinkedIn for sure. So you can download it on LinkedIn, and with it, you can extract people's email addresses. So you can go on the profile, click on the plugin, and it gives you the email addresses. So you can build a mailing list of who your potential customers could be. With that mailing list, what I'll be looking to do, if you really want it to be super hyper personalized, I actually prefer to send videos because I like talking. I'm comfortable with video. So I will go, there's a tool called Loom. Is anybody here familiar with Loom? Thank you, Jordan. I see some stuff in the chat. Great, thank you guys. Yeah, Loom, exactly, Joyce. That's
Oh,
how it's
yeah.
spelled. Yeah, Loom.
Yeah.
It's a screen recording tool. Yeah, that's the one. It's a screen recording tool. So you can I really like it. I think it's quite easy. It's again, you can install it as a Chrome plugin. I'll get that up and just quickly do a personalized video for who I think is my target audience, and I'll send that video to them on the platform. And if it's a quick 60-second video, nothing too lengthy, we don't want war and peace on it, right? You find the more personalized you are with your outreach, the better, of course, the responses you'll get. And usually you would not mind doing personalized outreach if you've done the pre-work that we talked about, because now you're already invested in making sure you know what you're offering, who you're targeting, you're using the language that they can relate to as well. So when you reach out, the feedback is usually a lot better. Oh, perfect. A different one. Vidyard. I never knew that one. Perfect. I've learned something new. Thank you, Jordan. I'm gonna steal that one. Never used that.
They're local, so I'm just plugging them. They're pretty big. They're a YC company.
Ah, cool. Thank you for that. So yeah, I'll do some proactive warm outreaches. I'll set yourself some kind of target. 5 warm outreaches a day for the next 30 days. Could be one. 6 would be to start to create some kind of post or social content around your niche or the sector you're in. This is great, but this is more of a slow, is a depending on the quality of the content you put out there, this might be a mid to long-term strategy, right? Because it might take a while for the algorithms to display your content, and then for people to see your content long enough to build trust and then be willing to engage with you. But the warm outreach is a lot more direct and quicker. But for that to work, of course, you have to have an optimized profile, and the more personalized the outreach is, the better your responses will be. 7, I'll look to start to engage with like relevant third parties or influencers in my space. So if you're, for example, helping small businesses in the US, there's this third party organization called SCORE. They help small businesses, they're like a small business accelerators. Even like FI. So I'll reach out to like companies or third parties that have the audience that I would like to work with, and see if it's possible to partner with them, either run a webinar with them, run a workshop, write a guest blog, basically find a way to leverage their community by offering them some value. 8, we talked about this briefly, is look to include some lead magnets in your posts so you can capture email addresses to build your mailing list. And then for the final one on there as an idea to consider is if you're offering services, I think sometimes like just starting out with gig freelancing sites could be a good way to get very low hanging fruit, but it gets you started. If you're if you're at the very start of your journey, I would yes, Score, Antonia, they're a US based organization. You just Google, I think it's score.org. They offer free business advice to small business owners, and they run lots of webinars for small business owners. Cool. So these are some ideas of things that I would explore to kind of grow or do or go to market organically. If I was just starting out. Hopefully this has kind of got you thinking of how you could build your own go-to-market plan. And if you're struggling with lead magnets, I've put some ideas on what lead magnets, or some examples of some lead magnets you may want to consider. Of course, some of it would not apply to your business, but hopefully at least 1 or 2 will apply. You may want to consider. Again, try and leverage your strengths, right? If you're a great writer, then look to write. But if you're great at video and speaking, then maybe conferences or video is a better way than you trying to do what you're not naturally good at and spending hours trying to do what you could have done in minutes if you use your strengths. Yeah. So I've come to the end of my presentation. Jordan, I overshot massively, I know. But as we wrap up, can I just ask, what has been your biggest takeaway so far in the chat for me? What would you say is your next steps, biggest takeaway? What would you be doing after this? Feel free to unmute as well. Any aha moments? Ronke, I see your hand up. I did Ronke. My fellow Nigerian.
Yes. Hi, good evening. Thank you for your presentation. I think the one for me is to go back and complete the Ikigai. I found that very intriguing, and I want to be able to have a look at that framework and learn some more about it. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Aderonke. I appreciate that. Great action step. Anybody else wants to unmute, ask a question, or share what their next steps are going to be?
I
Some
actually,
additional.
that was also a good thing to look at and to consider, as Anaranka said. But I also like the steps and with the go-to-market plan, just some good steps as to things to do, things you may not have thought about. I use Loom, but never thought about using the videos for social media. So thanks for that.
You're welcome, Joyce. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure doing this. I've enjoyed giving it. Thank you for your rapt attention. Here are my details. Feel free to reach out or ask questions. I've also got some office hour slots opened as well. But thank you. That's me done, Jordan.
Thank you very much. Yes, excellent.
Thank you very much, Yemi. Very good presentation. I even learned something. That's good. So any questions, guys, before she goes, because she has to take off a little bit early? No, it was all clear.
Are the slides going to be shared with us or just the notes we took? And I know it's being recorded.
I was only going to share the notes. I usually I do that for like some business presentation. So I prefer not to share the slides unless Jordan forces me to. Hopefully not. But it's recorded, so hopefully you can watch the videos, right?
Okay. Thank you so much again, Yemi. That's
Thank you so much,
wonderful.
guys. Good to meet you. Thank you. Thank you for the time. Bye, Jordan.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So I guess that you are all ready to tell us your fantastic go-to-market strategy now, right? In your pitches. Yeah, I think so. Because you're all experts now, right? Okay, so last week I was actually quite excited because it seems that you actually absorbed the presentations very well and the information, and you guys came up with excellent pitches. So now I'm very excited to see what the pitch decks would look like. And so I want to this evening for us, we have Violet that I have not met, one of our mentors. So Violet and the leadership team, Wayne and I'm going to let Violet introduce herself in a little bit. Wayne and I would also, and Jordan can chip in a little bit as well to give you some feedback. So just when Violet's going to come and give her introduction, in the meantime, you can just prepare your 3 minutes, prepare to give your 3-minute pitches, get your pitch decks up and ready to screen share, and then we'll get started. We'll try to do as many of the pitches as possible tonight. All right, so I want to try to get everybody in. Okay, guys, sounds good? Yeah, great. Okay, Violet, over to you for a bit.
Thank you so much. And I know Yemi's gone, but it was a great presentation. So thanks, you can extend thanks on my behalf when you speak to her again. So it's really nice to meet you all, founders. I can see from the chat that there's a wide breadth of different founders there. So I'm really excited to meet you all and hear about your businesses. And just a little bit about myself. Violet has mentioned before, I am an entrepreneur, business owner, currently operating out of Jamaica. I've started up a strategic consulting agency and recently expanded into a full marketing agency. In addition to that, I'm also in the real estate space in Jamaica as well. But in terms of my background, it's been in corporate financial services from the UK and in Canada. So pretty much a global experience that I'm coming with. So yeah, as I mentioned before, I'm really looking forward to speaking with you all. I have opened up some office hours. So if anyone would like to, speak with me outside of this forum as well, I'm really looking forward to meeting you all. And I'm seeing a lot of ladies, which is great. It's nice to see female entrepreneurs. a lot more. Okay, I see Zane. Hi. It's nice to see everyone. Okay.
Oh yeah, Violet, this is a special vertical for female entrepreneurs and youth and entrepreneurs living with disabilities. So it's going to be a very heavy female group. But that's all right. Thanks very much, Violet. All right. Just two announcements before we go into the pitches. Violet actually dropped her LinkedIn link, so you can actually go and check her out and see what she does. Just two announcements. So tomorrow, we have a special lecture happening. I'm sure you've all received the emails about it so far. We have, right? So same time as today. And I don't know if Jordan, if you want to explain a little bit more about what we can expect from that lecture.
Yeah, so I'll get let me get his LinkedIn into the chat here. But yeah, Bryce Sheshak, he's really busy. He managing partner at Global Live Capital. So they're a venture capital firm with yeah, 100 million under investment right now, I think. But he had a big exit. Well, he's had a couple of big exits, but one of his biggest was Win Mobile, which was like in the billions. Anyways, he's got this presentation that he's created called Founders Play Your Own Game. And he's now kind of on like the global speakers circle with this. So I mean, it's normally like a you know, it's a pretty restricted talk, and like he's part of the National Speaker Bureau, stuff like that. But he's going on vacation for like the month, but we were able to capture some of his time tomorrow. So yeah, it'll be an incredible session. What he's really good at is because they've invested in so many companies. Part of what he talks about is like each founder has a different journey. And part of it is, and you kind of touched on this, is like identifying what your founder journey is and your founder story. And, you know, and then because a lot of the companies they've invested in have had different journeys. So, for example, you know, maybe the founders were really good at sales, or sometimes they're really good at getting government grants, or they were really good at just being resourceful, whatever it is. So that's kind of what he goes in through the talk. And so, yeah, it's there's no homework or anything that you have to do. It's just you don't have to pitch. You know, it's just a matter of kind of showing up like this, being engaged, and yeah, he's a great contact to have because yeah, if you're looking for investment, as an example. They do investing and also like an impact investing. And he's just really well connected in the VC space. Yeah. So it's yeah, a great resource to have. So yeah, it's an awesome talk. So yeah, definitely recommend tuning in tomorrow. And he's literally just doing it for you guys. That's it.
Yeah, and I believe it's going to be recorded, so you should get the recording in the emails if you're unable to attend. But hopefully, most of you can come and experience that. It's always nicer to be live because then you can always ask questions and interact directly with the speaker. All right, next thing, just a little bit of housekeeping. Did anyone have any trouble with office hours this week? Yeah, Joyce, you had a little. I know a couple persons told me that they had some trouble. I'm still not sure what the issues were. I don't know if Jordan could explain a little bit more if it was fixed.
Yeah, it
But
should be. Yeah, it should be working. The where some of the mentors have an issue is sometimes the mentors like they need to have their own Zoom link or meeting link that they put in, and sometimes like maybe it's error on their part. We did have some issues with the system, but it should be working. Like I know that Yemi's got office hours posted and you can book them. So yeah, it should be working. But if you have issues, please email the three of us, Wayne, Tonelli, and myself, and then we can try and get to the bottom of it.
yeah, I'm open to scheduling office hours outside because I know it's a bit hard to rebook sometimes on the platform. So feel free to reach out to me and I can send you a link to help link up back to do some office hours, all right, outside. But it's always good to try to use the platform because then we use it to score you as well. So try to do as many, sign up on the office hour platform. But of course, all of us are sort of free also outside of those hours at times. So if some of the times are not convenient to you, you can also email me. I know me personally, I'm open to having office hours outside of the scheduled times when I'm available. All right. So, and then assignments, everybody is okay with the assignment so far? Anybody having any challenges, any questions in regards to that? And no, Kelly?
So in some of the questions, so would they won't necessarily pertain to everyone, would they? Like with
Yeah,
because
some like it's sometimes generalized, right? So I think and part of it too is like um we're purposely trying to throw a lot of work at you guys, but I think a lot of it is really just intended to help you push the things that you need to do in order to get your pitch deck to where it needs to be. So I think like priority number one for everyone should be the pitch decks, because this is what like each session you're going to be getting feedback on and then iterating and changing. Because the pitch forum will be October 17th, so 3 weeks away. So yeah, that first and foremost should be your priority, and then the homework, as much as you can get through it to help you with the pitch deck.
so it won't be, it's not like we'll get penalized or anything because I'm
No,
like
no, no,
naughty,
yeah,
like
no, yeah,
if it's
yeah,
what
not
I
at
mean.
all. Yeah, our biggest priority is like to help get everyone's pitch deck to a point where like you're comfortable with pitching, and then getting you pitching as much as we can to get you comfortable.
All right. No more issues. Everybody's okay. Everybody's comfortable. Yeah. All right. So, pitch time. I would like to pick out the first three participants so we can just go quick. So first three founders that would like to pitch. First, Joyce first, then Adoranka, and then third person. No takers. Kelly, you want to go? Come on, don't shy away from pitching. It's actually very good for you to get those ideas out and get the feedback, because we found that founders who pitch the most, they actually have the most improvement. So please do not feel shy to go and pitch as often as you have opportunity. Okay, guys? So we're going to start off with Joyce. I'm waiting to get excited to see what you have on your pitch deck. And then we can... So, and then we can go into... Okay, ready when you are, Joyce.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am Joyce Chesley Hayward, and we have begun Rejoice Experiences. I am thrilled to let you know about our transformative retreats that bring wholeness and meaningful connection to foster success in both life and in business. And okay. One of the things that we do, or the problems that we solve, is I know from over 40 years of experience as a CPA that I deal with busy business owners. They have burnout, they're stressed, lack of work-life balance. They need holistic growth and a holistic environment where they can have good, clean fun. The thing that we do with Rejoice Experiences is that we also are a faith-based experience. So we are spiritually uplifting. We have retreats that are suited for those who don't want to go to those retreats where they're not getting that spiritual upliftment. The types of things that we do is we offer relief from burnout and stress. We make sure you restore work-life balance. And we also are building a supportive community, because after the experience, you continue the experience. So you'll get a spiritual as well as professional fusion, values-based guidance with the workshops we offered, and it's tailored to each participant's journey. We have various business streams. There's a great product market, and I'll note that business owners make up the 50 to 100 billion dollars in travel worldwide, and faith-based travelers 50 to 100 million worldwide. So this market is growing. That's a group of my sorority sisters, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which is the sorority for Kamala Harris. So it's worldwide, and that, as well as chambers of commerce, me being from the States as well as from Bermuda, I know a lot of people who have already told me they want to come, and it's the kind of thing you would want to experience. We have had faith-based tours, holistic nourishment and fun, and relaxation, because we know you want to woosah in Bermuda. So these are just some of what our wonderful fans have said, the persons who have come to visit, and pictures of the trips that have already been held for people that will woosah in Bermuda. Due to time, I'm not going to show the what's next video, but there, so you know, we do have a what's next video, because we are looking at cultural and immersive arts and tours in Bermuda. We're looking at a signature festival that's going to be like a gospel essence festival in Bermuda, and we are pioneering new experiences that can attract global audiences. Our financial piece I'll go into a little bit, but this is our team: great administrator, great tour people. The arts persons in Bermuda are involved. The buses that we use are excellent. And of course, there's me. This is the financial overview. We can go into when we have the time, but we want you to come for our transformative experiences, invest in history, and experience enhanced tourism and faith-based tourism in Bermuda. Thank you.
Woo!
I was looking at my clock. Sorry, because that I realized I had not timed
No,
it.
you know, you're perfectly on time. You're great. So mentors, we'll do a rating. Violet, if you want to do it. So visually, we'll go 3, 2, 1, and then your rating, and then verbal feedback.
I think Violet, there are no threes, remember.
Okay, so I'm gonna do rating with my hands on the screen and not
Yeah.
on the okay.
Okay, so 1, 2,
Well, do
3.
both.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, go. Yes. Well done, Joyce. I think I'll let Violet go first with the feedback.
Yeah, it was excellent. I think it was really clear. I know exactly what it is that you're offering. I know exactly who your target audience is. And I know exactly what it is that the product, it's a niche audience, but we know exactly who it is and what you're offering to that audience. So I thought it was a really great pitch. But probably the only question I would have is, if you were to pitch this, what would you be looking for? Would it be investment or partnership? I think maybe that is the only thing that I would say is missing. Just to know, you know, is it a pitch or is it more information? But otherwise, I think, you know, the key areas were definitely covered, which is who's your audience, what are you selling, or what is the product? And that was covered very well. And, you know, you even have me excited wanting to come and join as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I would just add, I mean, the financials, you can probably take some of the financials out for now. You know, if anything, kind of put effort into like the business model and like the unit economics of how that could work. And over the next 2 weeks, like we'll sit down with everyone to try and get their pitch decks like tweaked visually. And then like we're planning like the week of the pitch forum. You know, I'll be in Bermuda on the Monday, and then we're looking at doing like a rehearsal the day before the Wednesday. So we can kind of get any wiggles out too. But yeah, great job. Thanks for going first too.
Yeah, I think it was a good job with a good pitch. You went a little fast. At first because you're trying to fit everything in the pitch for the 3 minutes. But as Jordan said, the financials can leave that out for now. And just give some highlights on each slide. The founder slide, I think, is very good, but You didn't really highlight their, just the best of their qualification to mention that to pull persons in to say that they can execute on the business model. And that's it. Just slow it down a little bit.
Yeah. I actually found your pace to be steady and engaging for me. I didn't really find it too fast. But I think Jordan and Wayne is right. You were kind of trying to get a lot of information in as well. So it might have seemed rushed indeed. I don't know, you said Jordan don't talk about slides, but I actually have a few comments about your slides. So there are a couple slides where the images are a little bit skewed. Because investors are kind of sticklers for details, you want to ensure that you try to avoid typos and your visuals are dynamic and clean and professional. So the pictures are a little crunchy or they are not very clear, they're pixelated and stuff. You want to try to avoid using those and try to use clean, crisp pictures where everything is nice and balanced. So I would try to fix that. I would try to use a little bit less words. I think your pitch is word enough. I think the slide should be an accompaniment to your words. So your slide should be more images, charts, and things to kind of see. When you have a lot of words on it, people tend to read instead of listening to you. And so you kind of want to narrow down the words, use keywords and phrases instead of whole sentences. And last but not least, your bios for your team. I think also using keywords and phrases for this as well. I think there was just too much information. Summarize the bios a little bit more. Also, because there were so many words, I couldn't get the key things about your team members. So it'd be great to kind of point out the strengths of each team member and why, as Wayne said, why, they're the perfect team to do this. So that wasn't very clear. It was just lost in the paragraphs underneath the pictures. So yeah, I think that's the first tip. Well done. Generally speaking, I think it looks nice and clean. At least it had nice clean backgrounds. Just had a few issues with images. So next time, we'll fix those and then we'll see. Very good job, Joyce. Fantastic. Well done.
Thank you.
All right. I think next up is Adoranka. Okay, go ahead and share your pitch deck and start when you're ready.
Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Hi, good evening, and welcome to A.B. Wilson Consulting's pitch deck. My name is Adoranka Badamosi Wilson, and I have more than 30 years of experience as a communications professional. I worked for the government for 6.5 years, and during that time, I provided communication support to the leader of our country, amongst many other government leaders. I'm a certified project manager, certified change manager, and I'm also an experienced trainer and facilitator. And what I think I bring to the table, which adds to my credentials, is that I'm also an experienced people manager. I understand how teams work and the kind of support that they need. And so what we have currently is a workplace epidemic. The loneliness, as defined by the US Surgeon General, is an epidemic in the United States. And loneliness also leads to associated reduction of work performance because people are unable to think and unable to focus while they're at work. And some of the impacts of the physical and emotional impacts of loneliness are the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So if you take that into account on the physical toll that loneliness and emotional toll that loneliness takes on people, they come to work. And lonely people don't necessarily engage when they are at work, and there's lower productivity. Stress-related absenteeism is equivalent to $154 billion of lost workplace productivity. And so When change needs to take place in an organization, what we find is that the executives make the decision and pass it on to middle managers. Middle managers, when they hear that change needs to take place, they hear it, they may start the process, but they stop because they're not sure how it impacts them and how they will roll it out to their team. When staff hear it, they want more information, but because the process has stopped with their managers, they don't get any more details. So what I do is I provide ingredients for change. I use a process called appreciative inquiry, which is a strengths and solutions-based, focusing on strengths and successes. As you may know, there's the EDCAR methodology. I marry the two. EDCAR is a change management methodology. It's awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. And marrying them two together allows me to create workshops and training and presentations that provide connection and belonging in the workplace. So the solution that I'm bringing to the table are change management workshops and training that are significant and the impact is measurable. And some of the workshops that I've already created, in fact, I did this one today, the Workplace Reimagined, belonging and connection, professional joy, because you have to be able to have joy when you come to work. Embracing AI technology, this is one of the key areas that people are really concerned and nervous about. And I bring that together with change management support to help companies and organizations through their change processes. And so measuring success, once engaged, we will measure through by having a survey 5 days before the workshop starts, one immediately as the workshop ends, and then 3 months afterwards. And what this does is it measures loneliness, belonging, and connection over time. And so the benefits of working with AB Wilson Consulting, we're a boutique consulting company. We're headquartered in Bermuda. We provide in-person training. A lot of the training that's done for loneliness and creating belonging, believe it or not, is done online. So we provide that differential, and we provide bespoke solutions. And my ask is support with identifying and introductions to meet my ideal potential client, small to mid-sized companies, governments with public offices, because we know that governments are always going through significant change, and access to networking introductions, and then help and guidance with scaling my business. You can find us on my website, AB Wilson Consulting. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
And feel free to keep your slides up because then we can go back.
Oh.
Great job.
Okay, thank you.
So mentor ratings, 3, 2, 1.
I can see the others.
And then verbal feedback.
Should I go first again?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. I will say, firstly, this was excellent. I very much understand what it is that you have to offer, who you're targeting with this, and also what your ask is. I really like that you put the ask at the end for exactly what you need, you know, in terms of partnerships, as you mentioned, and access. So for me, it really brought the story to the end. Yeah, exactly. This slide in particular, because you started off by saying exactly who you are, what you can do in your experience, who your target audience is, and you also went in the beginning into why this is necessary. So even if I wouldn't potentially be a client, I understand the pitch and understand exactly who your client is and what it is that you need. So I thought it was a very good pitch. In terms of the slides itself, I thought it was very well presented. It wasn't too wordy. The images were very clear on the screen. So I think this is an excellent pitch. Pitch deck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I concur. I loved your slides. I know you're an artist, so I guess that explains a lot. But yeah, your slides are beautiful. The images are just nice. They said it wasn't very busy. Um, I think your presentation style, it was very good, generally speaking. It was very clear. But I don't know if you because you were nervous, sometimes I felt like you were a little bit out of breath. So I I know that 3 minutes seems a little bit too short. It's really like news reporter speed, but not rushed. I don't know if that makes sense. So don't try to rush through it too much. Take a breather. Pauses are sometimes necessary for effect. So just keep that in mind and not get relaxed into it. But yeah, as Violet says, very good presentation. It was very clear what your offering is. Very clear problem, very clear solution. I think you spent a lot of time on the solution to make that point very clear. In terms of addressable market size, I'm not sure if you said something about the UK and Bermuda and the US. I'm not sure if you want to define that addressable market and obtainable market a little bit more as to how many of those companies or do you want to target with your outreach? And also, I think I'd like your USP to be a little bit more defined because I think a lot of persons know what training is, but I think a lot of persons know exactly the type of training that you do, why it's different. So I think just making that a little bit tighter. But overall, well done. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Maybe, do you want to click your slides to the beginning there?
Sure.
We'll just kind of go slide by side real quick. Yeah, and then go to the second slide. So this is great. This is kind of like, and I'll bring it up once we go through the slides, but like the deep tech variation that Ben Stacy was talking about, where it's like you can bring your experience up first. Then go. So this is basically kind of the problem slide, how it works. So I think go back to how it works for a sec. So one thing with everyone, like I kind of recommend taking animations out sometimes because it can stall things a little bit. Like you can imagine almost like presenting it like a PDF, really. So I think here's where like, from now until Thursday, because Thursday everyone's going to pitch in front of a bunch of mentors and you'll get a lot of feedback. Like so much so that we may divide the room in half as an example, just to get it more time with everyone. But it would be good to like, if this was to be rebuilt with iconography so that it was like almost like more like a sales brochure almost, or so something that people could understand a little bit more like that'd be great. Because I think it's like you can imagine like maybe a pyramid, right? And it's like, okay, at the executive level, this is what we do. At the middle manager level, here's what we do. At the staff level, here's what we do. And then go to the next one. So this is like the secret sauce, but it would be kind of like the solution a little bit, right? Go to the next one. Yeah, and then we get into the full solution. So I think the solution too, like if you were to focus on one, what would it be?
It would, good question. Probably if I had to do just one workshop, it'll be belonging and connection because that speaks to the problem.
Yeah, belonging and connection like within the organization. Like, is it almost like culture a little bit?
It would be, but it's more getting people to. The way appreciative inquiry works is you start with overwhelmingly positive questions. And part of the process is getting people into peers so that they can connect with each other. And with that, with those conversations, what you find is that people find that they have more things in common than they ever anticipate. And so it breaks down barriers almost immediately, and you start feeling a connection with the person. And then you go into group settings, and that connection continues. And when you leave, the measurement is really significant, because you came in not knowing or not having a connection, and you leave feeling that you know somebody, that you have something in common with somebody. And so that's why belonging and connection. But I'm not sure I would just sell it by itself
No,
like
no,
that.
that's good. Yeah, just like to think about it, because go to the next slide. Measuring success. Keep going. Yeah, and then the so yeah, I think like what would help is the like I like go back to that second slide, your experience, because it's like definitely your strongest slide. Yeah, this one's great. The so yeah, like I think it would be a matter of so like I don't know, if we look at a give me 1 second and I'll bring it up here and I'll share a couple links. And we got the time to do deep dives if everyone here, so this is good. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 sec. So this is like well, white privilege male, full disclaimer, but has done a very good job of oh, I gotta get rid of this speechify stuff. Like doesn't want to move but has done a very good job of like doing corporate retreats and exactly what you're talking about, like those types of things. So you can imagine clients include, but well, first of all, what he's done recently, which has been very smart, is like to write a book. And even if it's just like a white paper, right? Or like it can start as a white paper. It can start as a one pager, to be honest. But you can think like it starts as a one pager and then it evolves to like uh something in more depth, and then it could eventually evolve into a book. But like it's a good way to use the book as like anchor for everything that you're doing. And like it's also there's a good revenue model there too. But then what he will then do is like he basically now just travels the world kind of doing keynotes and setting up that structure and really zoning in on like his kind of thesis is becoming the CEO of your own life, but basically like ensuring that your family environment is happy. And then from there, then you can start to do better professionally. It is kind of basically what it's about. So thinking about like, and this isn't the best example, there's larger examples, but like I just use this as an example of like someone that recently has kind of crafted it all together, and is getting pretty good traction. And it's mainly because the rule of one that we talk about, like if you could contextualize like I guess to summarize it, the best way to think about it would be like if you yourself were a physical product, right? Then like what would that physical product kind of look like? And then it's easier to think about it a little bit more. So it's like you can imagine like then you could display the workshop as like its own little box, right? And like the box has a cover photo on it that like sells what's inside the box. And then in terms of like the structure of the pitch, like the deep tech variation may work a little bit better because it's like credentials is coming right up front, and then you can borrow some of these other elements. So it's like, problem, you've stated it, but then following a little bit more this kind of roadmap. But yeah, great job. I think that's hard to take in, but it's like when we find that like with complex AI companies or very complex concepts and people are trying to sell, like if we push them to think about the company as a hardware company, not as a service. It's like if their service, think about it if your service was something physical, a good, a product. then what would that look like? And then it's kind of easier to conceptualize things a little bit better. But yeah, great job.
So can I just add, I do have my website, which I stated, abwilsonconsulting.com, and I've written lots and lots of articles. I've written lots of blog pieces about what appreciative inquiry is and how it can help in various situations. So I do have that on the website as well.
Yeah, perfect. But yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Wayne, any feedback before we move on to Kelly?
Oh no, great job. I think you did great. I think what Jordan is mentioning there is about building your personal brand persona, which then amplifies the business. Um, the only other feedback I'd give is similar to what Talina spoke about, really nailing the market opportunity. What I think you did really well is about articulating the uniqueness of this value proposition, which I still want to learn more about, by the way. And and one question: does it have to be delivered in person, or can it be done virtually?
Okay, it can be done virtually, but I want that to be one of my differentiators, the fact that we are having in-person meetings. The research that I've done indicates that a lot of companies that do this type of work have put it all online. But the key point is getting people back away from technology, back into in-person. Because even when you go to dinner with friends, everybody's on their phone, right?
That's true.
And part of it is helping people to reestablish connection, helping them to really understand what having a full-on conversation means. And in this instance, having the conversation with prompts as a support for change management.
Okay, great. Great job.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, on to Kelly. Kelly, are you ready? All right. Share your screen and start when you're ready.
All right. Can everyone see it?
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Smith, the owner, founder, and operator of Cons, Creative Art and Nature for Smallies. Yes, Smallies is geared mostly for the ages 2 to 10, but really meaning that anybody just feeling small in such a big world of nature, which is what we believe nature is the best classroom. So Cons is a setup to be able to explore, connect, and create. That tagline is basically our formula of how we look to be able to use all of our classes, our programs, and we find that within those 3 small words, it can expand into so many other details that connect almost in an array of different settings for anybody. So we create experiences through outdoor adventures, Cons guides learning through memorable moments and artistic creations. So the evolution of this was on the back of COVID when everybody was told, okay, we have to do everything outdoors. And I was like, brilliant, this is great because now I can ride on the back of this. And I felt like learning should be in the outdoors anyway. But what was my inspiration? I don't know, many of you may know of the Magic School Bus, the mid-90s show with the crazy lady, Miss Frizzle. She took these kids on a bus adventure that would sort of transform the art of learning. And I always imagined, I mean, if for me, I know that when I learned science, I think I got most of my education through watching this show because sitting in a classroom was tough for me to be able to see this and always dreaming of the outdoors. And so putting those 2 concepts together, that's where we have our belief system in breaking down those walls of the classroom and creating a learning that's from the creating learning in the great outdoors. And so we had to start off small. What was the problem that we were finding? COVID not only brought its own share of problems, but then it also revealed a lot of problems. Technology, the stresses that people were going through. I think people thought that COVID, when it came, it definitely brought a magnitude of problems in itself with illnesses and everything else. But you realize that there were some underlying issues that were really, that children wasn't really thriving. And so media and technology caused a lot of imbalances, and COVID as well. Because of that, we had to distance. We couldn't be, children were socially withdrawn, amongst many other things. Also academically, we can find from COVID, there are a lot of like speech and language difficulties, and there's an array of things that even stem from that in itself. And so we realized that even taking these walls off of the classrooms, it allowed people the opportunity to learn in a different space that kind of was more to their kind of personality and style. And we found that over time, that this is actually help. I mean, in basic, we know that time outdoors in nature just is a stress reliever for anyone. So why wouldn't we set that up as a prime place for the classroom for children to learn, right? So it encourages like self-discipline. They have to learn resilience, teamwork, depending on each other, navigating through. And when children explore, they're actually they're looking for something a means to an end. So that means they're self-disciplined in that way where they're actually searching for things. And so that's why we have this terminology of exploring, but it can expand in many different ways under exploration. It relieves stress, and children just become naturally engaged. They love the outdoors, and especially when they can do it in many different types of weather. The outdoors is new every single day. You can go to the same place and revisit something different, see something different. And so it's forever changing. So it keeps it more interesting. It's organic in the sense that with the tablets and or writing or pad, it doesn't give them the sensorial feels and engagement. And so they're not learning about what they like and don't like as far as textures. And these are all some very pertinent things for children. And so they have these hands-on learning opportunities that are very organic, and they can also be structured in a way that the teachers are guiding them to be able to meet their potential. So if it's something that they see organically and they're interested in, we can ask them all the questions in around it that engages that type of learning. Also, if it's something that we want them to see, like to learn, like maybe it's building a teepee, they have to measure. All these sticks have to be the same size. Do they stand straight up? How to tie rope? There's so many things that come from creativity, from science to literacy. All of those components are just built into like one sort of a lesson or one kind of activity. And so that's what we're offering through our products and services, is therapeutic experiences and experiential learning in the great outdoors, where we can explore, connect, and create. And that's basically our formula, like I said earlier, for our private programs, classes, after schools camp, mentoring, and eventually we'd like to have a day center. I'm also even considering that, because we want the families to be involved. The children experience this, but the parents don't know what's going on. So have families that can come and experience the similar things, and this will kind of bring out the smallie in them, but they would see that it is still is a pattern that is still good for adults as well. So my traction, I just took a quick screenshot of the last 3 months last year and of this year. And sales have multiplied, almost multiplied doubly, I should say. And what you can see here with the blue and the light blue and the dark blue is where I have consistent like repeated signups and then new people. And I like that it's somewhat equal, because what I'm finding is that people are liking it and coming back and seeing the importance, but they're also bringing new people in as well. And that means it's growing in a healthy way. So my business model, basically or organically, it started from it's outdoor experiences for groups of children 8 to 10. Camps go up a bit farther, but we do group them in their smaller portions as well. And so we extend it to families as well. We customize our experiences, so there's no two ventures are alike, and it pulls on the interest of the particular group that is there. So we have small nursery groups. We program the program and design is made specifically with that our kind of model in place for each individual. We have flexible times. We have 1 hour classes, 2 hour classes, campsite lasts for the day. And then we have additional services like we do parties and workshops. We have some Christian sort of spiritual kind of art and nature-based things as well. So all of these things still stem around a holistic approach to be able to have the betterment for our people. So in the market, we have relied on word of mouth, kind of sharing on social media. More recently, as an achievement, we became the Family Favorites Awards in 2024. That was very recent, so that was really good. And so yes, and our competitions are like nursery school programs, our program, health programs that we kind of that are out there. I know some people have spoken of like the forest schools and so this is kind of, I guess, taking certain ideas and sort of put it our own sort of kind of I guess approach on it. So the Khan's approach to how we sort of see learning. And so we obviously would be kind of in kind of line with them. And so our strengths is that, yes, we have a passion for the voices to be heard. In the classrooms where kids are just sort of pushed away, their stresses are not getting looked upon. Like these things are coming out when we take them out in the great outdoors. And so a creative approach to this is helping them to sort of push through those challenges, learn new ways of how to interact socially. And we have the ability to differentiate the learning. Our weaknesses are some that we fall short of staff, and then with training model, because it's like a brand that they would have to kind of obviously learn. So the time it's taking them to learn the model, it's growing, but we don't have sort of the manpower. So I really want to work on its value rather than having the masses, and that's kind of what I'm here for. So we have the opportunity. We write, like I said, we wrote off the back of COVID. We had periods in the outdoor. Sometimes it can be too hot, too rainy, and so that can have a fact, but sort of marginal. And then some of the threats are just obviously what I was saying, availability of staff and higher education. I have a small team, me, my husband, and then two friends that are like board of directors who we continuously chat with about how to sort of grow it in a way. So my ask is that we have a space that is connected to the outdoors, but also a sustainable transport, which is why we can visit an array of different areas in Bermuda, and we can kind of move on our own time. Right now, we've been kind of taxis and minibuses and exhausting a lot of expenses in that way. So you can contact us. I have email, website, Facebook, and Instagram. So you can always see us and what we do. And yeah, come experience cons.
All right.
Did I take too long? I think I talked too long.
A little bit. Well done, Kelly. Mariana, you have a question or you have a hand up? And
I
then
just want to go next if anyone is going.
great. I have you go up next. All right. Violet, I don't know if you want me to go first.
Go
So
ahead.
you want me to go ahead? Okay. All right. Well done, Mariam. I loved your slides. I think you had very good branding. The images were great. It was very visually speaking, it looked very professional and clean. I think your tone was also good, even though you were a little bit nervous in the beginning, but it's okay. It evened out when your passion started showing up. So I could hear that passion. So that was very good. And that, that's good that it came out. So I think that you nailed the problem. You definitely explained the solution to, really, you spent several slides explaining that solution. So we got a really good idea about that. Your target customers didn't specifically say who they were, but they were very evident from the images. So that was good. And I could hear your USP. I'm not sure if I know it's not the standard academic program, and so maybe that's good enough as a USP. But I don't know if anybody else sort of does this kind of thing. I saw a market slide, but
Sorry, could you repeat that? Sorry, it was just what was you said?
I said
The
I wasn't
academic part?
sure. I wasn't sure if you had any competition.
Okay.
Right. So but your target market, I wasn't very clear on that. I know you had a market opportunity slide. I wasn't very clear on that. I have a few notes. I have a long list of notes about some things that I could actually make it a little bit better. So first one, I think it was too long. I think you really nailed the solution, but I think you spent a little bit too long on the solution. I think it was kind of over explaining. And then I kind of had the feeling you were more talking to parents, like this is an orientation for parents to sign up your kids rather than for an investor to invest. So it didn't seem like it was for the right audience. The design of your slide, I think it was a little bit too much text. I think if you could just, like I said, a lot of us are going to have too much text on our slide first time. So this is one of the shortcomings for most people, so that's fine. So I'm not going to dwell too long on that. Everybody, you have a lot of text, remove them and put phrases in and bullet points. So people are not reading your slide while you're talking, because people tend to read when they see words. And then I think too that you spent too much time on each slide. It was almost like a lecture and not a pitch. So beware of that. Kind of like move your slides along. And then I think that it's probably around a presentation style, but you don't have to name like the next slide coming up like business model. You don't have to introduce it like that. Just go straight into it. It keeps you engaged, and then people see the slide change, it's something else that you're talking about. I think there's some slides you could do without. The SWOT analysis, I don't think it helps your pitch. I don't think you should highlight your weaknesses. You're looking for investment. You should be highlighting your strengths. So I would do away with the SWOT analysis. And yeah, I think that is all of my points. But overall, I think it was a good presentation, it was a good start. I just have one question for you. Like, how are you planning to scale?
From where I am. So like I was saying, I think I need to I'm really trying to, I guess, I guess it's hard to so where I'm at is I feel like I'm in the middle point. So ideally I kind of wanted like a bit like a day center, but to get people onto the idea, I had to start off with small classes and that became after school. So now I think I'm at a point where I have the clients that I'm out there, but now I'm trying to make it, I guess, a bit of a good package, the value of it, and then to see what else I can add to that, as far as like I was saying, either like a something more for the parents as well, and also maybe something a bit more full-time, just sort of built in a structure and having staff really.
Okay, so I think in your ask, well, maybe you could put something to that point to say that this is where you want to go, is where you want to scale to.
Oh, well, I do need a space. I don't have a space right now. Kind of living out of my house in Tupperware containers. I mean, the space is the outdoors, which is fine, but there's no real base.
Mhm.
So yeah, and a bus.
Okay. All right. Violet, you have any comments?
Yes, I was actually just typing it away because I'm trying to do both at the same time. I'm trying to put my notes in the online so you can read it as well. But I'm just going to reiterate it here. It was a beautiful presentation. It was very clear and spoke very eloquently. But I do think that there were a few things missing. I definitely agree with Tanelia in terms of it seemed more geared towards the parents as opposed to a potential investor. So it wasn't very clear what it was that you would need up until the end at the ask. And just a suggestion, I'm writing this in the notes, but I think actually using the 7Ps of marketing would be a really good way for you to frame what it is that about your business, what you have to offer, because there are, in terms of the gaps, I do understand the product and you did go into the solution and you also went into your team structure. So that's where the people, but in terms of like, how can you access, what it is that you have to offer? What are the specific products that you have? And also going into how, like the pricing structure just a little bit. So how is it that this business would make money? Those are the type of things that I think that investors would be interested in understanding. And how is it different from the competitors that you mentioned, like the nurseries and the schools, etc. So what is that main differentiator apart from, it's outdoor and outside club schools? Because that is something that, I feel like an after school club. So what is the main differentiator between your after school club and other after school clubs or camps or things like that? So it would be very good to just get a bit more context around the solution and the structure of the business. So I just put the notes in there, but it was very well delivered and a very beautiful presentation.
Yeah. I think I'd forgotten too, for your team slide, try to include the pictures of your board members. I knew that was kind of missing. It's nice to see images of people. It's like almost, they don't exist if there are no pictures. Okay, so I'm seeing quite a few hands coming up. That's great. So Kelly, well done.
So
Looking
those are
forward to-
presentations coming up.
Yeah, I think so.
Just
So
one pointer for Kelly before we move on. On your go-to-market slide, don't use the SWOT. Use the stuff that Emily presented earlier. You know, see which target market to go in for. Remember the rule of one there. So yeah, I think Tanya mentioned it, but you don't need the SWOT on that slide. I think because of the type of business you're offering to, you have to really work out your distribution and your delivery channel. How are you going to get the product in front of persons and they're going to deliver it to them? So you really want to, it speaks to your opportunity for scaling the business model. So you really want to think about that a little bit more as you work through fine tuning the pitch. But good start.
yeah, great. Okay, so up next we have Mariana, and then we have Mariam, then Danye, and is Razia or Razia? let me know. And Antonia.
Razia.
Razia, great. Got it right the first time. Okay, so Mariana, share your slide when you are ready, and then we'll have Mariam after.
Okay, can you hear me? Let me just.
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay. Let me take this stuff. Okay, so I am Mariana with Hana Health, and we are a movement platform to reduce healthcare costs and improve employee productivity. So the problem is that 1 in 2 people suffer from joint or muscle pain in the US, and 6% of working adults report being unable to work or having limited work capacity due to pain. And that's the most work-limiting condition. In 2016, they were the leading driver of healthcare spending, costing the US $380 billion. So we offer a personalized care to prevent and self-treat pain with quick, affordable access to high-quality care and knowledge, and we empower people to take control of their health and live pain-free. We bring physiotherapy expertise and modern technology to your fingertips. So when you sign up to the platform, you're going to choose your goal. So that could be decrease pain, get stronger, reduce tiredness, move better. And then from there, you're going to be directed to specific videos and exercises that are going to guide you according to your movement responses and feedback to find the movement that's specific for you. And we also collect data to track users' progress inside the platform and to track the program's effectiveness. So in February this year, we started developing the software. And then in April, we had 20 American PTs that signed up to be beta testers. In May, we got Daimler Truck North America to sign up to be a beta tester for their plant employees in North Carolina. In July, we secured a 1-year contract with Argus, a local health insurance company in Bermuda. And in January, we are expecting to launch the software. So our model is a subscription-based. So we charge a per employee per month fee. And we also generate patient referrals and charge physical therapists a percentage for each referral. So our market is American self-insured companies, and with a total of 35 million employees. And then if you bring that to a small business, then it's 19 million employees. And then my specific market is small manufacturing businesses with 1.5 million employees. Our go-to-market strategy is to find online communities with HR managers and wellness coordinators on LinkedIn and engage with them, and then build a mailing list from LinkedIn connections and send them a warm outreach email. So I am a licensed physiotherapist with 13 years of experience and Pilates instructor, and I'm looking to connect with HR managers and wellness coordinators to bring this solution to more companies. Thank you.
Wow, that was very quick.
Woo!
Great. Oh, wonderful. Ready for feedback?
Yes.
Yeah, good job. All right, I don't know if we forgot to do the hand thing last time. You're gonna do that now?
Let's do it.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, Violet, I don't know if you want to go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. This one was excellent. Clearly defined product, clearly defined go-to-market strategy, also clearly defined business model. I understand exactly how it is that you are structuring your pricing. You mentioned that there's a subscription pricing and another pricing. And these are the type of things that I know investors want to know. How are you going to make, well, even if you're not going for investment, because your ask at the end was to connect with HR managers, but also they want to know that this is a viable business. So very well designed in terms of getting the information out there, and also the structure of the company. It would be good to know if there's anyone else apart from yourself as well in the company, but even if it's just you, that's fine. It would just be good to know that information. but very beautiful slides. It was very clear, and I really love the examples that you have in there. Like you had some images of, the stretches, and it really brought it to life for me. So very well presented, and that's my feedback for you.
Thank you. I do have mentors, but I didn't include them because on that document said to not include mentors, that the investors don't care about mentors. So that's why I didn't put. So it's just me, but I have mentors.
Okay.
No worries.
Where is it all? I think because you have no team, maybe what you could have done is like what Adaranka did, which was highlight your strengths and why you were the perfect person for doing this. But I think that's great. I concur. I enjoyed your presentation. I think that your tone and pace was very easy to listen to. I think your presentation was very clear. Everything your business model was clear. And I think your slides too. Did you get a professional to do it?
No, I did.
Well done. Well done. It's really clean, it's on brand, and not too much words. It's a lot of text and not text, a lot of charts and stuff. So it was very visually dynamic. It was fantastic. I think I just want to point out a typo. I think you have on a slide the coordinators. So you probably want to check the spelling for that one. So you don't really want to have typos on your deck. But just another question. I think what exactly your product wasn't so clear to me. I think I had a very good picture of your revenue model, the problem, but is it that you're giving, because before I thought you were having things on a video platform where it was sort of like self-help sort of speech. You would go on the platform. For some strange reason, I don't know if it was just me, but I didn't really get that in the presentation. So I wasn't really sure how you would scale. And but the other question I have now is why just we're sticking to business if you're doing a platform that has videos and it's sort of self-help? Is it possible that you could also go to a B2C market? Yeah.
Yeah, I chose B2B just for scalability and and so then I know that like self-insured companies, they pay for healthcare, so they do want to save healthcare. So it's very appealing for them, that solution, versus B2C would be a lot harder and take a lot longer to sell subscriptions versus companies. So that's why I just chose B2C, but it could be B2B, B2B, it could be B2C.
Okay, I was just curious. Okay, thank you. Well done.
Thank you. You said that was a typo. I just didn't get, where was the typo?
It was on, I think, go forward. Go forward after this. Oh, hold on, I need to get the pictures out of the way. Here, this one, the go-to-market slide. So coordinators, COORDI. I think it's supposed to be an I. Just an
Coordinators.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any more? Wayne, you have any feedback, or Jordan?
Yeah, I can jump
Just
in.
to say well done.
Sorry,
Oh, John, go ahead.
go ahead, Wayne.
No, just to say well done. I think the depth of the research done was impressive in terms of defining the market and the problem that you're trying to solve. And I do like the business model that you offer, because I think it creates the potential for scale. And I think use of the traction slide was very, very good, because that shows that you're a growing business and that you're ticking off the milestones that to be attractive to investors. I don't know why I never pitched to investors. I mean, it didn't ask for an investment. But on the team aspect of it though, you say it's a sole entrepreneur. Are you recruiting for technical founders? What's your next move on that?
I would like to have people potentially helping me on the skills that I don't have because I'm the technical person. So tech would be really a good partner to have
Okay.
someone that understands tech. That would be a nice addition, tech, sales, marketing. But for now, I'm doing everything.
Must be rough. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would have just add real quick. I'm just sharing a slide here. I mean, for everyone, you're going to get lots of different advice, right? And I think the challenge of a founder is to collect that and then ultimately make your own decision, right? So I think so yeah, from an advisor perspective, from a team perspective, yeah, it's not that often you put like, let's say, mentors on, but you would put advisors on. I was just trying to find some examples really quickly of like where they have put advisors on. We've shown examples before. Like here's kind of one. It's real blurry, but like you get the idea that like your team on the top, your advisors on the top for sure. But then on the product, like I don't know, I just bring this up as a quick example, but it's like, I think technically everything in your deck is perfect, and you got like a lot of the stuff that you would need to be there. And now it's just a matter of like improving it and pushing it even further. So it's like you can start to productize the product page to be something that like showcases like the product in a way that's moving into like brand and marketing a little bit more and where you can take it now. Um, and I don't know, like a great example would be, well, if it's complex, like sometimes you'll see like kind of a walkthrough, almost like a demo of the product sometimes really quickly as to how it works, like step ABC. Um, you know what I mean? Or like it can just be, trying to get rid of this here, but like it can be, a lot of times the best way to think about your product slide would be in the whole deck is like what the landing page for a website would be, right? And it's like then you're kind of almost taking all the elements from the landing page and then putting it in the deck. So yeah, I would just push you to try and incorporate a bit more branding and like push the deck further from a product standpoint. But yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Sunny, I think you're muted, even though you're talking.
Oh, yes, thank you. So, Mariam, I think we're ready for you. Thanks, Mariana. Well done.
Okay. Of course, now it's not sharing. Great. My screen is not sharing, ladies and gentlemen, so I think I might have to pass on this one. Yeah, interesting. Oh, it says something about permission to share screen. Let's see. Share. Okay, let me try it. No, I'm not able to share, so I apologize for that. I'll just pass and we'll do that next time. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, so maybe we can go to Danye and then come back to you and see if it works. No, not tonight. No, sure.
It's saying that I have to go into my security settings and then quit and reopen, and it's just getting late. I want to delay people. You just go. Thanks.
Okay. All right. No worries, Mariam. All right, Danye, you're up next. Is that correct, by the way? That's how you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Ready when you are.
One minute. Something's getting on the phone too.
Yeah, you too.
1 second. Let me see if I can fix it.
Oh yeah. I think we need technical support tonight. Jordan, you think we can do 3 more?
Yeah, let's do it.
Should I try and see if mine works? If not, it might be on your end. What's the chances of
Sure.
us all having issues?
Okay, go ahead.
It's saying I have to leave and come back.
That's what it's saying as well? Oh, that's interesting. Antonia is sharing. I don't know. Ooh.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Do you see my deck or do you see the Word document?
The Kids Digital Wellness.
Okay.
Here.
So is it okay that I go? I'm going, yeah?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we can come back if yeah.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Ready when you are.
Okay. Hello, my name is Antonia Holder, and I am the founder of Kids Digital Wellness and the inventor of the DigiRootcase. What is the problem that we're seeing? Well, 78% of children 8 years and older, or 8 years old and younger, have tablets in their home. And kids spend up to 6 hours on digital media per day. Sorry, could you pause 1 second?
Yep.
I am having an issue here. And I can't figure out how to stop it. Tech issues all around. Sorry, guys. How do I stop sharing?
Let me stop you. Can you try again?
Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. Tonight is the night for that. You're muted. Yep. Thing happened there. Not sure what's happening tonight.
Okay, I am so sorry about that. I promise I'm ready now.
Okay.
Okay.
Go for
Back
it.
to the beginning. Okay, and present. Okay. Hi there, my name's Antonia, and I am the founder of Kids Digital Wellness and the inventor of the DigiRootcase. We're seeing a huge problem right now in that 78% of children 8 years old and younger have tablets in their home, and kids are spending up to 6 hours a day on digital media. And what is the problem here? Their heads are hanging too low,
They're getting access to digital media at an early age, and parents and children are unaware of the effects of this long-term content viewing. Can you imagine lifting a 40-pound weight with your neck? Well, that is how much your head weighs when you're looking down in texting or scrolling position, and it's causing pressure on your neck and back. So what's going to happen if we continue this trend? It's commonly referred to as tack neck, or forward head syndrome, which is the condition caused by slumping over your devices that leads to the neck to lose its natural curve. One chiropractor was stated saying 20-year-olds he's seeing now has the spinal health of 40-year-olds, and that it's an epidemic. Our solution is the DigiRoo case, which is the first of its kind height adjustable tablet case for kids. It's designed to support positive posture while kids are on the devices and mitigate tack neck. Here with iPads that do not have a DigiRoo, you can see from the picture that many kids are slumped over and have to have it on their lap or prop it up with a book. Whereas the DigiRoo supports posture and helps the kids to sit up straight while they're on the floor, at a table, or just hanging around in their room. To date, we've had one large wholesale order with a local company in Bermuda, hundreds of direct sales, and also piloted in a local school that resulted in sales itself. We are Forbes vetted. We received a TAC award from Bermuda government, a mom.com feature, physiotherapist approved, and received honorable mention from Fast Company. The North American kids tablet market size is currently $508 million. The material that DigiRoo is made out of is called EVA, which is a non-toxic material, and that addressable market is $163 million. There are many products in this space, but they range either really cheap, so $10 to $15, or really expensive, and you have to affix it to a table. And the DigiRoo sits somewhere in the upper left quadrant where it is not expensive, but it's also not considered cheap. DigiRoo is the only kids tablet case that is protective, ergonomic, and portable. The key differentiators is our height adjustment. It has over 25 viewing angles, and it's non-toxic and durable. Our target audience is primarily made out of parents or caregivers, educators, and healthcare professionals. Our distribution channels are direct to consumer, Amazon Marketplace, and retail. In the future, we aspire to be in big box retail stores like Target, Best Buy, and Walmart, also in more schools like Apple designated schools, and associations such as the Physiotherapist Association. Our current COGS is $18 per unit, retailing for $59, and that's a gross profit margin of 69%. I am currently seeking $450,000 in investment for 20% equity in the business. And as the founder and CEO, my mission is to protect the physical wellness of our kids by preserving their spine health while on their mobile devices. My husband and I started this business in 2023, and we also have a team of experts that are helping us with social media management, website development. We have some advisors, a publicist, and product development. We are also a social enterprise, so we look forward to connecting with parents, caregivers, and investor partners on social. Thank you, and we look forward to working with you.
Wow, I love it. Antonia, so well done. Oh my gosh, those slides are beautiful.
Thank you. I went past my time.
That's all right. Okay, I don't want to go straight. I don't have much feedback, so I can but I love your slides. Did you get a professional to do it, or did you do it?
No, I did it in Canva.
See, Canva works for everybody. Wonderful. Well done. Good job. Your deck is absolutely beautiful. It's clear. It's not too cluttered. It's professional. It's on brand. the images are, the couple images are a little bit blurry, so you might want to swap out some of those. But your
Oh, which
pitch was,
ones?
I
I
don't know,
didn't
I have
even
to just look
notice.
through.
Okay.
It might
Oh,
be
this
my
slide,
computer.
this slide. Okay.
So it could be my computer as well, but you can just go through and see if you've seen any blurry pictures.
Okay.
But I think your pitch was excellent. It was on spot. I knew exactly what you are actually thinking of going to Amazon right now and getting one. So well done. I mean, I don't know if we want to do the thing 1, 2, 3, Violet. You want to do the 1, 2, 3? All right. 1, 2, 3. So well done. All right, that's me. Violet, on to you.
Yeah, excellent. I don't know, it's like the pitches just keep, surprising me, especially, is this the first time that you're doing them as well? Is this the first week of pitches? Like, I'm really impressed with the caliber of pitches that I'm seeing, even with the slight feedback that we give. I just feel like it's pretty much on point. I really love the use of your figures in here to understand, because especially because your ask is financial. So the fact that you've put in the expense, like the startup expense, how it's going to be spent, and also the profit margin, it's a very good addition, because that is exactly what an investor would want to see. Also, the market research that you have, and it's very clear what the product is, what it's solving, and who the target audience is. So very well done, beautiful presentation as well. I won't reiterate, the branding and things that Tanulia sent, but in terms of the content and the delivery of it, it was very well done. So yeah, thanks for sharing it with us as well. This is another great pitch presentation again.
Thank you. One improvement I think I'll make based on your feedback from others is adding pictures to my team members. They're not full-time employees, or I mean, I'm not even a full-time employee at this point. I'm trying to get there. But I was just wondering if it's good etiquette to put that. Well, Jordan, I think you said you could put advisors, so I can do that for them.
Yeah,
It's normally
totally.
good practice, because then it's like social media. If you don't see images, it's like they don't exist. They're not real people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, add images of your team, definitely. Part-time or full-time, they're still your team.
Yeah, and I would just add real quick, I use these guys as an example just recently, but so Zipfee, when they first started out, now it didn't totally work out the way they envisioned, but basically they were they had this initial product and it was based off a shovel, basically. But what they found is like they had really good sales, but then the sales started to taper off. I think they eventually actually sold the company. But the company that originally designed it, really their like core competency was product design. And I think that you're really good at product design. So you can imagine it's like a lot of times with pitch decks, like 10% of the deck is like 20% of the deck is like the company. And then like the rest of it is selling the future, like the future potential. So like you as a design company and like as a brand example, like Yeti is a great example where it's like, they just started off making like the best cooler you could possibly make. But then they started to attach themselves to like stories. And so I bring that up because like there's an influencer opportunity too on the marketing side with you where like, you can imagine creating a YouTube channel and just giving advice to parents on like parenting and stuff like that. And you just so happen to have these products that you also sell. And then the one thing that let's connect next week because like some of our mentors are on like the acquisition team of Spin Master. Spin Master is now basically like one of the largest toy companies on the planet. Um, Actually based in Toronto, but like if you're familiar with Paw Patrol, Bakugan, Rubik's, they have an investment fund and they're actually actively looking for investments.
Thank
So
you. I actually just listened to their podcast on how I built this, their podcast interview, and it was
yeah,
excellent. I
yeah,
actually wrote
they're
them down. Yeah.
so yeah, like post program, once we kind of get everything and we're making more introductions, like yeah, there'll be a great no, you may need to sometimes if you're meeting with competitors, you want to or potential acquirers, you want to make sure that you have like the trademarks and stuff like that. Or the
Yeah. We're trademarked and patented.
Yeah, okay, so then perfect. Yeah, then there's no restriction. But they're actively, and a lot of their first companies were actually just acquisitions. And like then they brought the marketing engine to be able to then just sell it. But yeah, great job, great pitch, everything that needs to be there. And now it's just a matter of like continually refining it and perfecting it.
Thank you.
Just a very random fact. I literally lived across the road from Spin Master in Toronto, and I thought that they were a studio. I had no idea it was a toy factory or a toy company. So that's actually quite interesting. I'm going to check them out as well.
Yeah, like a multi-billion-dollar company. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous. They're huge now. It's
maybe
crazy.
so.
Yeah, Paw Patrol brings in a lot of royalties.
And it was incredible to listen to how they started Bakugan because I have a 6-year-old and he is all into the Bakugans now. And it's like legit Pokemon and something else that just had a baby and it was Bakugan.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. So I think there's a personal story to this, right? With your kids that inspired this product design.
Absolutely. Well, yes and no. I literally had a vision. I call it a divine download because I started to see my daughter's posture while it was the pandemic, and it really started to bother me. And my husband and I was doing all this research and understanding that because it's still very new, there isn't a lot of concrete evidence out there that says this posture is literally gonna change your physical development, but it's suggesting that. And so I think having a mindset to solve that problem for her led me to, it's just like, you need to raise the device. And there were no iPad cases or tablet cases that do that. But there are other contraptions that you have to affix to a table, right, to get the ergonomic posture. Nobody's got time for that. No parent is going to take their iPad out of one thing to put it in another. We need portable, we need convenient, we need, safe for the children, non-toxic. And that's how I got started.
Excellent. Great pitch, by the way. I just have one question. Just talk me through your evaluation that
Yes.
informed the ask and the offer.
Okay, so we are a first of its kind and patented in the United States. And we have, captured over 10% of the Bermuda market alone. And that was before we reached our 1-year mark. And so considering the total market size of our material, so it's broken down into like all tablet cases and then by material, so hard plastics, which we are not, we are EVA foam. If we can transfer the market infiltration that we saw in Bermuda within the first year, we will be able to capture at least 13% of the US market just based on the adoption model. So with the right strategic partners and capital funding, we can apply that into sort of the marketing and distribution.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll get into that later on, but I just wanted to understand your philosophy behind it. Well done. Good job.
Thank you.
Very graphic. Well done. Danye, do you think you want to try again? Thanks, Antonia.
Yes, I'll try again to see if it works.
Yay!
It's
It's
working.
happening. Yay!
It's up.
We're seeing your screen. Go ahead. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Deluxe. Deluxe is an e-commerce website that was developed to help online users who are working women ages 25 to 45 shop multiple local products in one place using our worldwide shipping online marketplace. We are a Bermudian brand that believes shopping should be an enjoyable and convenient experience for all. Our company started as an online boutique in 2018, named after our founder, Daniel Hollis. In 2021, we rebranded to Deluxe and launched our new and more efficient website, offering online payments, worldwide shipping, and it was also designed to eventually operate as an online marketplace featuring multiple businesses and their products. Our founder has a background in art design and customer service. She prides herself in providing fast and efficient service while ensuring customers have an enjoyable shopping experience. Her entrepreneur journey started in 2018 in her bedroom, consisting of a small collection of shoes, handbags, and accessories. She often held pop-up shops and participated in local vendor markets. Our mission is to be a successful and reputable online marketplace where customers feel respected, satisfied, and confident with their purchase. Our vision is to be a successful online marketplace providing affordable, quality products, fast worldwide shipping, and exceptional customer service. The problem. For our customers, they are unable to find all the products they want and need in one place. These customers prefer a fast and efficient way of shopping that avoids losing time and is easily accessible online. The problem for our local businesses is creating websites, paying fees, as well as shipping fees can be very costly. The lack of payment applications in Bermuda makes it difficult receiving payments from customers. If businesses do not have a fully operational website, they rely on cash on delivery and bank transfers. The solution with our business, customers can avoid losing time looking for multiple items they need, but can instead use our website as a one-stop shop. For our local businesses, we eliminate these costs by connecting the buyers and sellers in one place and facilitating the entire transaction through our website. Instead of companies posting DMs to purchase, each business will have their very own link leading you directly to their products. We believe that creating this platform is crucial to developing an additional stream of revenue for our small businesses who create jobs and contribute to our local community and economy. Based on this year alone, our total website visitors are over 9,500. Returning customer rate is 38.18%. We have over 750 website subscribers. We've reached over 140 countries. Our average order value is over $77, and we've already onboarded one vendor. The market in 2022, there was 2.56 billion online shoppers, and it continues to grow, with next year projected to be 2.77 billion online shoppers. I need to fix that. Our business model is transaction fee revenue model, $35 monthly vendor fee, along with 6% to 25% commission fees, depending on the business. How it works. So customers will browse their items and add to our website. Each vendor will receive a notification of their product that was ordered. The items are collected from each vendor, combined and delivered locally or shipped internationally via DHL Express. The vendor then gets paid for their order minus our 6% to 25% commission fees. We are looking for funding to acquire a workspace to hold inventory and create content for marketing purposes, as well as hire a strategic team
to grow our website, improve customer engagement, and help reach more international customers. By having a rack space, we will be able to hire our team and also hold inventory for the vendors instead of us collecting the products from the vendors. They will be at our location for us to pack and ship as soon as the orders are received. Our contact information, here's our number 703 Deluxe. Our website is www.shopdeluxe.com and our email is info@shopdeluxe.com. And here is also a picture of one of the first vendor that we signed to our website, their product. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you, Danye.
I forgot to tell myself.
All right. I think we're ready to do the 1, 2, 3 thing. Ready, Violet? 1, 2, 3, and go. All right. I don't know if you want to go first with your comments, Violet.
Yeah, I found a good strategy this time. Before, what I would do would be typing up my notes after, but I was typing it as I went along. So the first comment I would make is it's a very beautifully designed slides, but I found that you were reading the text of the slide. So as you're doing that, me as the viewer, I'm doing that as well. So it would be really good if you could make use of maybe bullet points to maybe highlight some of the points that you're trying to make, and then you can just elaborate on that more. What you want to do is you want to really try and avoid having whoever you're pitching read what's on the slide. We really want us to focus on you as a presenter. So that's in terms of the delivery of it. But the slides are gorgeous. I really love the branding of it. I love that you identified your key target customers, which is the customer and the local business. And then you also went into what the solution is and the problem and the solution for both the customer and the local business. So I thought that was very well done, that you identified your target audience and what it is that you're offering for them both. One thing that I think you could do to make your slides just slightly better is really bring out the USP. So what would differentiate your platform to what else is out there, or what else is available, or what are the alternatives? So what you could do is look into what are people currently doing, what are they doing right now, and how does this platform or this website now solve that, and what is the main USP? Why would I want to come there? So I think you already know that. It's just to bring it out into the presentation, I think, will really sell it. And just lastly, you did mention that you were looking for investment, but there were some key details I think that was missing, like how much and what's in it for the investor. So what are the returns for the investor? But very good presentation. And yeah, like I said, just I put the notes in here, so don't worry. But yeah, that's my feedback.
All right, great. Thank you, Violet, for that. And Danya, thank you for your presentation. Yeah, it was well done. I don't want to reiterate everything that Violet said. Her comments are very similar to mine. So I'm not going to go back to say how fantastic your slides are, all that. I'm just going to fill in where she didn't say something. So I would say that I would want you to go straight into the problem. And maybe after talking about the problem and the solution, or an introduction to the solution, now then go and talk about the company and you as the founder. I say that because I started dropping off before you even stopped talking about the founder, because I was losing attention. So you want to kind of grab that attention and hold it. And you perhaps don't need to spend so much time talking about the company as well. You can try to do it in a very concise way. Remember that 1 minute pitch. right? To explain what your company does and you as a founder, your introduction. It makes it a little bit more concise, and then we can go straight into what I'm interested in, which is how am I going to make money out of this, right? And how good a product is this? So it was great. Love the thing. It looks like a brochure, to be honest. I think you could keep it as a brochure, but have like another version that's your presentation. I think that's what I have to say. So well done overall.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would just add real quick, just put some resources in there of like some AI tools. I think yeah, the pitch is great. I think if anything, if yeah, in terms of the founder, like you, Danya, are you the founder?
Yes, I am. It's just me. I have no staff.
Yeah, okay, because the way you were talking about it was almost like in the third person, so like it didn't even feel like you were the founder, you know what I mean? So I think you can pitch it in another way. Like an example would be like this founder slide, just have a photo of you and that could be the whole slide, right? Like an empowering photo of you and that's the whole slide. And then I think you have an amazing business. Um, and so I think the one thing that you could add to it is it's like, okay, you're already doing this. You're you're already in business. You've already got these great partnerships. You're trying to expand, but I think like maybe there's an opportunity, and you kind of touched on it, like, you'd use it for content marketing and stuff like that. But like, maybe there's something that that no one else knows, and you just need some additional help to be able to get that across. And an example of that would be like, um, let's say you have like a new AI funnel or like there's new user acquisition funnel that you want to start expanding. And really you just need like additional funds to help make that happen. So I think like those types of things to be able to like showcase a little bit of a competitive advantage. Because your competitive advantage is that, like, if you want to curate stuff that's cool across Bermuda and share that with the world, I mean, like, you're the company to do it, let's say, from a fashion perspective. Um, and yeah, I agree. I think, like, and you can paint a little bit of that picture of like, okay, if you are going to do more marketing, then, what does that look like? Are you going to do more storytelling? And if that's the case, like, what does that storytelling kind of look like? But yeah, great job.
Great job. Beautiful slides. I love your design style. Um, could you bring back the traction slide? Because you had some very impressive figures there, but I don't know if it was mistaken, that one vendor. Right here. So all of these activities was just with one vendor?
So I was already selling products before I
Oh,
started the vendor.
mhm.
So I have my own merchandise as well, but I signed my first vendor in April of this year.
Okay, so you are a vendor yourself, and then you onboard an external vendor.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Oh yeah, I just wanted to understand. This is good traction though. This is a great traction slide that you could include, further up in the presentation, especially if you're looking for investments. It didn't indicate, the details of the investment opportunity. But yeah, I don't want to put this, closer to the top of the presentation or just before you ask for the investors, equity investment. But well done. I think what you're trying to execute is a very difficult business model, so marketplace or platform business model. So if you're getting these tractions already, I mean, you're doing a good job. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, thanks again. Okay. All right. Danye, thanks again. All right, I think we just have time for just one more. We're actually over time. So if that's okay with everybody, can we just have Razia if she's ready? And then we can close for tonight. Yeah, is that good for
Yes,
everybody?
I'll go ahead.
Because I did promise you'd go.
Thank you. Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Razia Billu, and this is my company called RD. RD is a clothing brand. RD is a clothing brand that designs dresses, UPF shirts, activewears. We are based in Bermuda and inspired by island's beauty and rich history. This is our team. I am the founder. My husband is assistant and he helps me with accounting, marketing. And then we have a graphic designer that converts my designs to actual designs. Our process is we design and our strong relationships with artisans in Pakistan through my family connections help us to produce premium quality at reasonable cost. Our competitors offer the same products, but not at a premium quality or affordability. So these are our current customers in Bermuda. Until now, RD has collaborated with reputable retailers on the island to design t-shirts and dresses for them to sell as their collection. Now, as we have developed good relationships with the retailers, we are taking the next step in launching our own collection, which will be sold through local retailers and online. These are some of our dresses that we had with the retailers in Bermuda. We do offer sun protected shirts, and we've been connecting with the retailers for these t-shirts. These are our figures for last 10 months. We've been profitable and all our customers have ordered 100%. This is our next collection. Our Audubon collection is inspired by local birds of Bermuda, and we are collaborating with Bermuda Audubon Society to give back to the community by sharing a percentage of our revenue with them. Our next step is to focus on our collection, have a brand theme across all platforms, run a paid marketing campaign, take the brand to the next step by selling globally. Based on my experience, I've been able to design the collection and produce the samples. And through Founders Institute, I'm looking for funding to hire resources to enhance my website, evaluate the profile of my brand on social media, and run a paid marketing campaign. Thank you. This is my social media website and Facebook.
All right. Thank you very much, Razia. Save the best for last, right? Before we go into feedback, we're going to do the thing, the hand thingy. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and go. All right. Wale, you want to go first again? I'm still making my notes.
I really love the business. but I really think you could pull out some more of the USP, because you mentioned that there's SPF t-shirts, and I'm like, I've never heard of that before. So it would have been good to go into a bit more detail. What does that mean? And also understanding the market. Is there a market out there for SPF t-shirts? Have you seen, like, if some market research has been done, have you seen like a spike in I don't know, skin cancers or something like that? I just think that calling out the brand and the product offering could really help, because there are beautiful designs, but I think your USP is actually quite strong. And also the fact that these are made in Pakistan, where you're from as well. I think there's another element of like ethical product production there that I think you could pull out as well, especially where the market is going right now. Everyone's really conscious about where they're consuming, and fast fashion is kind of out right now, and people are looking to more ethically and sustainably produced clothes. So I actually think that's something you can really leverage. But in terms of the brand and everything that you're doing, I absolutely love it. And maybe, I'm not sure, obviously your camera's off this time, but next time.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. It would be really good to see you as you're presenting as well, because you are your business, and investors don't invest in businesses as much. They really invest in people. So yeah, that's my feedback, but very well done. And yeah, I'd love to hear more about it actually.
Thank you. Yes, I need to add the slide with the market target. I've done the researches. Maybe on Thursday pitch, I'll add that slide.
I'm not going to add all the fabulous stuff because Violet said all the wonderful things. I'm going to just repeat, and I'm not going to say some other things too, because I'll just be repeating. But I'll just put them in my comments when I'm giving my feedback. But I like that you showcased your designs, because actually I could visualize what it is that you're offering. So that's good. My only concern is that perhaps the slides with those images are a little bit crowded. So I don't know if there's a design thing that you could do to still showcase them, but not as crowded. And I think that's, yeah. And I think your picture with your team, I love the team slide. I love the slides in general. It's just beautiful slides tonight. But I think your picture, you are kind of looking away from the camera. You want to have a picture of your face. You want to be able to clearly see your face. And you have a nice face, so it'd be nice to have a nice picture. Just showing that. So I think that's, yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna stop there. Thank you very much, Yazia. That was very well done. Nice presentation.
Yeah, and I just had real quick.
Thank you.
I don't love this brand, but have you been in a Vineyard Vines or Vineyard Vines store before? It's like,
Yes. So actually I'm even part of BEDC. So the mentors, they've told me to look into this brand and Tommy Bahamas.
yeah, totally. Yeah, it's because like there's obviously a huge opportunity to be able to create like a Bermuda style brand, right? That encapsulates Bermuda. And I think so like me personally, I think like no one really cares where their stuff is made unless it was made in Bermuda. So I mean, like I would probably take that out, and then I would just really focus on the brand. Like the polos are great. The dresses complement that on like the female side. So it's like I think it's really an exercise in branding where it's like, okay, if you were, because like that the bird uh icon concept is really good. Um, you know what I mean? So it's like you can imagine if you were to build out your deck for this company, then incorporate that concept into your deck. So bring in a lot more visuals. Like visuals can take up the whole page. Like this can literally be a page, you know what I mean? Like the way that it's kind of laid out, where it's like image, and just a little bit of text. Everything could be a billboard. And yeah, and kind of you know, you only have a couple weeks, but I mean, like, I think you can really incorporate more of what you think this brand should be into the deck and sell the brand. I think that's like you have everything already, all the pieces, all the components. And now it's just a matter of it's like a branding exercise to kind of like weave that story into one big thing. And yeah, I don't think the story of where it's made resonates so much with fashion as it does like why it was made. So yeah, I would kind of button to like I think the bird story as a product in a product line could be the entire brand in the entire pitch, to be honest. You know, and maybe, you know, if there's money that's being allocated towards like the preservation of those birds, like tell us more of that story. That's a really cool story and it's really empowering. And, you know, it would make people want to support the brand, I think. But yeah, great job. Good pitch.
Thank you.
Yeah, great pitch. I, I think this is really a story about branding for me. I think if you pull out those stories about the birds and about Bermuda, I think you're doing that really. You're leveraging the Bermuda brand. So this is really a branding play because I mean, you know, clothing can be a commodity if you think about it. But what you want to do now is to zero in on the branding. And I don't know if there are particular designers that you want to highlight to add value to the unique selling proposition. But excellent attempt. I think it can only get better from here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you for all that presented tonight. We really enjoyed it, and we really like where all the pitches and all the pitch decks are going. So I'm just going to close tonight as quickly as possible because we went over the time. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for a special presentation, and on Thursday when we're going to see updated pitch decks and updated pitches, because it's the mentor review session. So we're going to have more mentors coming in and giving you feedback. And we're going to ensure that everybody has an opportunity to pitch that night. So just prepare and practice every day your pitches. And we're looking forward to hearing more from you. So without further ado, I think if we have no questions or any more comments from anyone, we can sign off for tonight.
Good night.
All right. All
Great
right.
job, guys.
Great job. Awesome. Pumped.
Good night.